got to get this show on the road.
Hello, everyone. It is I, the idiot, coming to you from Ryza. Not okay. Coming from the Dyson Sphere. Standard night of play, boring and all that good stuff. We have got to get this show on the road. Today is November 10th, or 10th of November, 2021. Let's see, the endeavors today. Universals complete the Transdimensional Tactics TFO. Destroy Undine Ships Battle Zone, Tetrion Damage Ground, to win GPL playing Dabo. Everybody, Dabo. Plasma. So, just a typical night. Checked out Twitch website to see who all that I know of is playing right now. Grumpy Old Nord's playing Star Trek Online. Victoria Thalion's playing. Thalion? A few others. Let's get this show on the road. I need to check the oven in like about 25 minutes. Yep. Oh, damn it. Who's not paying attention? Let's go to the city.
MC Wolfcat1 says, Yoahoo. I'm first.
Wow.
MC Wolfcat1 says, hey how's you?
I'm here. Wow, you're on early.
The
You
Fog
woke up
Fortress
way
has
early
engaged
this morning, didn't you?
Troops inbound.
Wow. Yoo-hoo! What are you doing up so early? What in the world? Dun 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 dun.
MC Wolfcat1 says, yeah, Hubs woke me up this morning before he went to work.
Ah, you couldn't go to sleep, huh? You just stayed awake? Stayed awake, stayed awake, stayed awake, stayed awake. Well, welcome to being first. There's not much going on at the moment. Just a standard gameplay for me when I first get started. This is my first character I start with. You never get to see these characters. Womp 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 womp.
MC Wolfcat1 says, nope, I was asleep. Was busy with a very weird dream, so I'm not upset that he woke me.
Oh. Okay.
MC Wolfcat1 says, yes, interesting seeing this character.
Lilu. It's the first one that I play with every time. Now, there's a bunch of Star Trekkers on at the moment. Trek on, yo. The Victoria's on there, grumpy old Nord. Trizander's probably going to be getting on soon. Me, though, here I am, doing my thing that I do. The most boring part of the game. Grinding for dilithium.
MC Wolfcat1 says, the night before last night I did struggle to sleep. Was one of those nights where my mind didn't want to shut up.
I hate it whenever that happens. Where you're just constantly thinking all the time and your brain never just shuts down. Let's get back to Tetrion. What are we at? Tetrion. Okay, good deal. That's why I usually stay up until I get really drowsy and just nearly collapse into sleep. And it could just hit me at any point. Yes, got it. Yeah. Okay. Let's capture this. But generally, it's like 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About maybe 8 hours from now. 7 or 8 hours. Until I completely just start getting droopy headed and like really fall out in front of the computer. Yeah, about 8 hours. And that's wild. It doesn't seem like it's 8 hours. But generally, like, just playing Star Trek Online, just 4 hours taking that up, and then if you get drowsy, he's like, you know, then sleep, but then, like, something wakes me up, you know, and I gotta get in front of the computer again to watch it. Last night, though, I, finished it up a little early so that I could, watch, a movie called Finch with Tom Hanks. And, that was pretty good. Tom Hanks movies are pretty awesome. T. Hanks. Every time he signs his name, he says thanks. Tom Hanks. Ooh. What do I have as far as let's see. 26 refined. Did anything happen in the exchange? Yeah, alright. Got to withdraw some. Slowly building up that Zen. Oh no, not you again. Let's see, 500. Gotta do this in increments because everyone's in a line now to get Zen. Probably wouldn't.
MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL, if I do that my insomnia will flare up. I have to try keep to some sort of sleep schedule even though it's not strict, it still helps. Sleep time is between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Later than 1 a.m. I run the risk of completely destroying my sleep pattern and then I have to struggle to get it back before it turns into insomnia.
I can kind of understand that. That's why I have the sleep pattern that I have and the work pattern that I have. I mean, I have I go to work at like maybe between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. every day until about 9 in the evening or whatever. And if I have to get up early, it just ruins everything. Like if I had to work a day, like morning type shift at work, it would be just so difficult to get into that little sleeping routine. Since I'm used to what I have now, of staying up and getting up at a certain time. But yes, I've dealt with insomnia myself over the years. And the way I've dealt with insomnia, just by just crashing pretty much, staying awake until you fall asleep of sheer exhaustion. Because once your brain like just never kicks off, you know, to stop thinking about certain ideas, things. Like me, I've always wanted to like just create stuff all the time. Like scripting, programming, whatever, and I'll get like a little idea of something to do, and then if I don't do it then, I'll think, well, I won't have this mindset whenever I'm going to try to create it later. So I need to do as much now as I can, and that would lead up to constantly staying up all the time and running the risk of, you know, the insomnia bug, and to the point where it just blunk, you know, you're just down for the count. And I try not to, you know, stay awake too long, because then I'm thinking, well, if I don't go to sleep at this time in particular, then I'll only have this much time to actually rest before I go to work. And if I don't have that amount of time, then why bother sleeping? It turns into like a thing, like a revolving door of what ifs when that happens. It's just so crazy. Like I could okay, I'm off tomorrow anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if I don't go to sleep at what would be my 6 a.m., which is like the 8 or so hours away, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 8 hours away. Then, you know, then it's like daytime, and then you're going to bed when the sun comes up, and it just kind of ruins everything. Then the dogs start barking, and everything happens, you know. It just makes it harder to sleep. But I can understand. That's why I kind of enjoy sleep, even though you get like weird dreams and stuff. But the fun things of dreams, you know, whenever you figure out your dreaming, you have the lucid dreams, and then you can like control the dream and do whatever you want in it. And that's the best, you know. Makes you not want to ever wake up again. So you had a weird dream and it concerns you? I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I'm a rambler. I am a rambling man. Dun -dun 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 -dun. Lilu. Oh, this one's taking a lot longer than usual. Ugh, reach for it and die. Oh. I looked into the text-to-speech script that's for chatbot that I use to see if I can actually make it do a Borg type
MC
thing.
Wolfcat1 says, that's tough. Mine was because of the new situation I found myself in. A lot changed all at once and I suppose my mind was struggling with the change. I struggled to get away from insomnia for about 3 years. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy, no matter what they did. 3 years of sleepless torture is just horrible.
Wow. On average, how often would you how long a period would you stay without sleep? How many days? Before your body just crashed out and you just had to sleep. Stay up late, insomniac. How many of those do I have now? Just 15, so I can probably go over here and get another mark. Gotta save up those marks. Win a prize. Here, there we go again. She gained any energy credits since... Yeah, I got 1 million. That's pretty good. Another one? I don't want to. I don't wanna do that no more. Yeah. Did you ever start hallucinating when you had insomnia? That stuff gets real. It's like you start seeing things that are really there but aren't at the same time. Because your brain says, hey, that's real, but it's not. You see the world for what it is. I could attribute a lot of my insomnia to anxiety, though. Worry and anxiety, depression, that sort of thing. It's hard to get away from it. How many commendations does this character have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not too bad right there. Can get some good stuff with that. Okay. I'm gonna go to my fleet starbase for this character so I can get some credits. Fleet research, star system, fleet base. There it is. I had warp factor 0. Oh, it's gonna do that whole slow loading thing. It's just great. I see we have another shard maintenance happening again pretty soon. In maybe, what, 10 plus hours? That's just great. Must have found another problem. Doc. Ugh. I've already started yawning. It's too early. It's too early in the game to do that, y'all. At some point during the inability to sleep, you just start hearing things, seeing things. At least I did. But talking to them seemed to have helped. No, I'm kidding. Ugh, dude. Hiccup belch. A hiccup belch. Ooh, tribbles. Here we go. Yeah. Lilo like to kick the tribble ball. Tribble ball kicked. Ah! For goal. Oh, yes. I did it. Okay. File commendation report. Science
MC
report.
Wolfcat1 says, 4.5 days and then I still needed my autopilot function just to get into sleep mode. Sort of like preparing my brain for sleep, else I feel worse when I wake up. I still never felt rested after sleep, but autopilot helped to make it a bit better. Hallucinations didn't really happen, at least not in picture form. When I was outside it felt like I was being watched. But it turns out I was OO. And then when I'm inside I would hear all sorts of noises. It didn't help my nosy neighbor was noisy.
Oh, you got a nosy neighbor, do you? Yeah, well, visual hallucinations, at least not in picture form. Yeah. You start like just hearing things, like just random sounds, and maybe your name being called or something, or just whispers. Must be like you know, with schizophrenia type. Oh, I need
MC Wolfcat1 says, yes, but he's gotten less nosy over the years.
Ever since you went out there and busted his kneecaps? I'm kidding. What's that gonna do? Result in that there. Let's abort that one. And warp core efficiency, abort that. I want to really do these reports. Because you get fleet marks for doing this. Stay up late, insomniac. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I used to like spent 13 days and only 8 hours of sleep during those 13. Lost some weight during that too. Hearing voices and stuff like that seemed normal, but at that point, hearing a name being called, answering your name being called, that sort of thing. That was rough. I don't know, like it's kind of hard to explain each person's what happens when you're like you have insomnia. Your heart rate goes up, you know, like pounding out of your chest type thing sometimes because you get no rest. And mine was like just I have like get dizzy spells and just like super aggravation would happen. Anyone like would just speak to me a normal way, and I would just like nearly like snarl and snap type situations. It was just something crazy. Can I do an? Nah. Okay, 2, 3, 3 more. Damn. Okay, let's see. Heart rate. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Would test my
MC
blood pressure.
Wolfcat1 says, yes, struggled to eat while I struggled with insomnia. I suppose it helped that I was already nuts. Must say, my imaginary friends were very supportive. P.
Imaginary friends. At least you had some friends there with you. Even if they were imaginary. Those are the best friends. Or Drop Dead Fred in that movie. I guess that wasn't a good friend, but... It's like you just start seeing the other side of the sanity table. You know, the curtain lifting. Alright, got that. Good deal, Lucille. Good deal. Good deal. It's like, you know, people with schizophrenia, they're always saying that they
MC
like, hear
Wolfcat1
things.
says, if only I could hallucinate them into existence. That would have been awesome.
Yes. Well, if you try hard enough, maybe, you know. Then you find out you are the hallucination. Return to sector space. Oh, I gotta go check the oven. I'll be right back.
MC Wolfcat1 says, I did try. MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
And I'm back. One of the things... Oh, that came right out. Look at that. One of the things that had happened whenever I was going through my 13 nights of not sleeping and only getting 8 hours of sleep during that,
MC
you know...
Wolfcat1 says, welcome back. Smiley face.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you very much for welcoming me back. But was like the twitching of the body, weird movements like you weren't in any kind of control of, you know, like just twitching and popping, and just arms like shooting up in the air for no reason, legs running around like as if you know were trying to run a marathon type thing. It was really wild. Like the restless legs, I guess you'd say.
MC Wolfcat1 says, oof. I hated that. Always felt so unstable.
And it's like body was vibrating, you know. Like you like if you were being shaken a whole lot, you know. Have random times whenever like It's like your nerves just jolted through your body, you know? And nobody believed anything was wrong with me. They said, you just need to get some sleep. And I said, that's the problem. I can't get any sleep, you know? And they would say, well, just lay down and go to sleep, you know, whatever. It couldn't. Something kept preventing me from going to sleep. Luckily for me, I had TV to watch. You know, that kept something visually happening that I could focus on, even though I couldn't sleep. Eyes would kind of roll in the back of my head.
Yet always easy for them to say that.
Yeah. My eyes would roll back, and then it'd be like a micro sleeping, and then wake back up, you know, because your body will do that, where it just tries to shut down temporarily, then back up again. But I would get maybe like a 30-minute complete just out of it. One day, maybe one day an hour, and then wake back up again.
MC Wolfcat1 says, how long did you manage to sleep when you did fall asleep?
Well, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, depending. That's why I say in 13 days it was about like 8 hours total of sleep. Because I would just get jolted back awake for some reason. Like my chest would just just adrenaline would shoot through me, and I would just wake back up and just could not. It was like a bad dream, like a nightmare. Something. It was like something was preventing me from sleep.
Says, same.
Yes, it was like something was preventing me from falling asleep, and then I got to thinking, well, if I fell asleep, what if I didn't wake up? You know, and maybe it would get worse, and eventually, it just kind of like just went away, and I just crashed out one day and slept for maybe 16 hours one day, and then the next day was like 12 hours, and slept, you know, and it never happened again. I don't understand like why it even started happening. But I've got it all written down. Like I keep a notebook, or several actually now, of notebooks on me at all times. Well, not on my person, but at home, which I'm at home right now. But and I call it my pain journal. And I had written down in it that night, or those nights that I stayed awake, and everything that I was thinking at the time. I'd have to find that exact notebook though, because that was, how long ago was that? 2003, I think. Because I kept a tiny notebook near me all the time. I kept a big notebook. It's like several, thick, you know, notebook, and just everything. I'd write down exactly what I ate that day and how I felt this time and this, and it became an obsessive compulsive problem. And even though I've not been diagnosed at having obsessive compulsive disorder, I cannot fall asleep now unless I write in this in a notebook at night about what I ate, what I did every single day. And it's crazy. I've tried to not sometimes, but then I think if I forget a day,
MC
what if I need to remember?
Says, oof.
Yeah, like what if I need to remember that day, and then I get backed up on those days and I don't do it, then something could happen or whatever. Same thing kind of with what I'm doing now, the streaming. I can't stop. I don't know why. Every day I get on here and I start streaming at the game. I started doing it on Ryza, and I thought, okay, well, when Ryza's over in like a month's worth or whatever, I'll stop. But I couldn't, and now I can't. It's like I'm obsessed over continuing to stream this every second that I do. It's hard to just like think about stopping, because it's just all these ideas and like things just pop into my head about it. You know, it's that same insomnia type feeling and anxiety about stopping. I mean, I even like say like a type of prayer every single night when I go to bed, and if I don't sleep. So it's like I have to. It's the problem, and I don't know how to stop. I mean, even like whenever, say, I went on a trip with my sister to Miami, Florida, here in the United States. She was going to like have her boyfriend at the time move to the area that we live at. So she said, "You want to go with me? You'll fly on a plane, be your first time." And I was like, "Oh, sure, you know, whatever." So flew on a plane. I couldn't take my notebook because, you know, they've got restrictions about certain objects now. So I had to use my little cell phone to type down everything each day that I was there. And then I would just take it and like write from it, like, you know, read what I wrote and then write down in my notebook about it. And I keep the notebooks that I write in every single night above my bed on like a little headboard or whatever that I'm looking at right now, next to my little Wilson ball, because I can't move Wilson. He won't let me move him. It's there all the time now. At least I moved the coconut, because it was starting to mold. Mold's not good. But it's a mental problem. You know, all of this. It has to be classified as OCD, because having to think you need to do something all the time and unable to stop doing it has to be that as a definition of OCD. Even though I've not been diagnosed, and I'm not one of those like tile counters that won't like count the ceiling tiles and all that. I'm not one of those types, you know. But it's something, because I've tried, and it's like I've tried stopping doing things, and it's just like I fight against it, and there's no relief unless I do. I don't know. It's probably just a weird thing. Nobody else probably does, but I do. Because somebody will say, "Hey, do you remember where you were at, what you were doing on this day?" And I said, "No, but I've wrote it down." I've written it down somewhere in a book. There was even a part like one Christmas, my sister got me a journal, you know, like a little you know journal, maybe about as big as an average hand size, you know, and didn't have very many pages in it. She said, "Well, I know that you like to write in your notebooks every single night, so I thought I'd get you a journal." I'm thinking, this thing's not big enough to write in every single day. At least it had lines in it, though. But I just keep that just away. I need to find all the notebooks that I've written in. 'Cause I store them away in like a box after I get done. Thinking that, and I've even tried this as if like a crazy thing in my head, right? Like, I'll write down in there, if anyone in the future is reading this right now, please come to like this certain location at this time to tell me that you've read this from the future. So far, nobody said anything. So I'm thinking two things, right? Like, there's a post-apocalyptic world. All the stuff that I've written down is now fried into the future, to where it doesn't exist anymore. Or two, time travel does not exist yet in the future. It's a weird way of thinking, and I constantly think about it all the time. I think about like time travel or people from the future viewing us in the past right now, using some sort of viewer, and then I look up like just randomly on the internet about like viewing the past or something, And then I find the story about like the Vatican having this thing called a chronoviewer that was developed by some scientist where it allows him to like view the past. And I'm thinking, wow. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's interesting. So whenever I do this, like for instance, now when I'm playing this game and doing this dilithium grind, it's now an obsessive compulsive thing, an OCD thing. If I don't do this every night, if I skip a character, I go back and get it. And the endeavors have turned into that too. If I skip an endeavor, if I skip it while I'm recording, I'll get off of it, like offline or whatever. I'll go back into the game at some point during the night and get the rest of everything that I did not get while recording.
Arctic Knight says, what will you do when Stowe is no more?
I have no idea. I'll probably like sit
Arctic
there and stare at the
Knight
wall.
says, and yo 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 yo.
Hello, night. Arctic or night, depending. You said either Arctic or night. I don't know which one to call, because I'm bad at making decisions. You give me two choices and I'll go right down the middle and not know which one to get. If it's a fork in the road, I head toward the center and run into a tree or something. But aren't we all kind of messed up in the head anyway? That's just my messed up in the headness. I mean, it's not like that one episode of well, it could be like that. The one episode of the Outer Limits where and I don't remember like which version of Outer Limits, like the newer kind that was playing during the 90s, maybe early 2000s. And they kind of revamped the series, where this guy with OCD goes into a doctor's office and talks to a psychiatrist, and he's like, if I don't hold my arms a certain way, like this way or whatever, at this time during every day, a plane will crash. And the psychiatrist is like, yeah, whatever, here's some medication. Dude comes back to the psychiatrist later and he says, the medication's not working, I'm still having to do that so planes don't crash. And finally the guy says,
Wolfcat1 says, I am a self-diagnosed OCD, mainly due to all the symptoms that correspond with multiple articles I read. I'm not one of those that actually look up my symptoms, but psychology is interesting to me. I have triggers for a recurring thought that's been pestering me for the past 15 years, and I also had a little ritual to make it better, but all it does is make it worse cause I have to do it constantly, so I forced myself after being completely exhausted from it to limit it and eventually managed to control.
well, if you manage to control something like that, that's amazing. I like that you said the ritual part. It seems as though that's what it is. It's like a self-fulfilling ritual that if you don't do, that it just messes. It's just something that I cannot stop, and I don't know why. I don't get it. That dang internet diagnose you with anything, can it? I've actually been one of those people, though, if it's a physical symptom other than mentally, whatever, I can diagnose myself with it, go to a doctor and tell them what's going on, and they can like run tests and actually say, yes, you do have whatever this is or whatever like that. I diagnosed myself with a bad gallbladder years ago. And minimal research online or whatever. Told the doctor. Doctor looked at me like I was crazy, of course. And I said, could you just please run a test or whatever? They did. Found the liver enzymes were elevated. There was a problem. Sent me off to like have some more scans. Found out the gallbladder needed to come out. They said if I hadn't come in or whatever like that, it would not be good. So I used to be paranoid. So when I went to a new health professional person, I'm very limited about like what I tell them these days. You know, you don't like act like tell them all the stuff that's wrong with you, because I'll go in there and I said, like, you're probably tired of hearing everybody complain about their problems all day. Whereas I've never been to a psychiatrist, just regular, like, a doctor that or person of health that can help. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2 ish. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Was that like 1,000 each? Energy credits or no, fleet credits? I'm gonna do it. I gotta do it. Damn it! I gotta do it. I gotta go. I gotta do it. When Stowe is no more, I'll probably find another game. I'll default back to Minecraft. I don't know. That's why I tell myself I won't, like, be one of those people that ask for subscriptions or anything, or bits or nothing like that, because then it would become a problem. I'm glad I've never gambled before. Where in the world? Fleet Starbase system. There it is.
MC Wolfcat1 says, it is a ritual indeed. If you don't do it, you feel immense dread that something bad is gonna happen, and your brain actually force you to do said ritual. The biggest battle to overcome is the fear that something bad is gonna happen. You might realize that it's not logical, but practicing the logical solution is extremely hard, but not impossible. I managed to a certain point on my own, but not everyone can do that and need support. I am considering going for help to further control this.
You nailed it right on the head. You ever thought about being like a professional yourself about it? Like after you figure it out, getting control, like studying it and stuff like that, and offering help to others, but then it would probably become into like an obsessive thing to help others. And they're thinking, "Oh, you're so helpful." Said, "No, I just can't help myself. I can't not help." Did I clear that off of there? Yes. Okay. It's like whenever somebody asks me to do something, sometimes I can't say no. Because I think through like all the ideas of everything, and the different ways it will go, and it's like you close your eyes and you see the multiple outcomes of a decision, and which way it would actually go if you said this, if you did that. And I'm always running those scenarios through my mind about like all the situations I come across and future situations that I might have. And it's very taxing to think about it. Which is why a lot of people say, "Oh, you're so witty. You always have a comeback for something really quickly." I'm thinking it's because I've been thinking of the situation and what I would say in the outcome. And they'll look at me like, "Whatever, you're weird." I'm like, I cooked that a little too long. Yuck. Wow, camera too close. It's like he wants to get up for close and personal right there. Return to sector gets above that, so that's ready for tomorrow. And it's like certain medications that I've been given that can also help with people with OCD or whatever like that don't seem to help at all, because it doesn't get the mind off of the thinking or the idea of something. Because I constantly worry about the future, like not about like human race or anything like that, because hell, we all we're not doing too good as it is, But I worry about the universe, like about its future and not my personal future.
MC Wolfcat1 says, nope. I don't think I would ever want to become a professional. I'm also an empathy and pick up people's emotions too deeply. I would become too involved with my patient. Because I haven't had sufficient contact with people in general, I don't have the ability to protect myself from their emotions.
Okay. So, if you're around someone, you can kind of pick up and take on their, the way they're feeling. Like you said, the empathy thing. It was like being an empath, which is a real thing. I do believe in.
MC Wolfcat1 says, yes.
Which means if you go into a room and somebody's upset, you can feel that upset. Like you can feel it like a dread upon you. Like an energy transference thing. Which is completely true. I can, if I work with somebody when they're feeling really mad about whatever
MC
certain thing.
Wolfcat1 says, something like that.
It's like I can pick up on what they're angry and I get angry or whatever. Or if someone just like looks at you a certain way, you know, you can pick up the way that is, and you know, we all have something that can connect us like that. And I think one time before, what was it I was watching? It was something to do with like someone who was self-proclaimed psychic. They got an infrared like camera on them. What is going on? What the heck is that about?
MC Wolfcat1 says, crowds overwhelm me. Even family gatherings gets too much and I need to go outside of the building. I need to put some distance between me and them.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably get like a super anxiety from all of the emotions going on around you. But I believe that is a real thing. It's not supernatural, it's just something that we all can do, and some of us are just more in tune with it, able to
MC Wolfcat1 says, anxiety, yes. But only if they feel anxiety.
Yeah. And all of that coming together without like probably like proper control can overwhelm you even
MC
more.
Wolfcat1 says, it's just very tiring when there are so many emotions around me.
And that's why you twitch. Because you're all alone. Well, you're alone in a room, and all the people that are watching or whatever like that are so far away you can't really connect. Maybe you can, I don't know. Have you ever tried remote viewing? If you can be like somewhat linked, like I was saying, it's a normal function that we all possess, like these, like connecting and whatnot. And for some of us, it's super sensitive. That's what I believe personally. I'm not saying that it's real or not. It's what I believe. And you know, it can be just something if you aren't prepared in your head, you know, and about what's going on around you. Or like
MC Wolfcat1 says, I still connect. I can sense what a person feels when they text me. I can even sense what you feel at times.
Cool. And I guess it could be a blessing and a curse at the same time then. I guess you can probably like enter a room with someone and kind of take on their
MC Wolfcat
so-called
1
persona.
says, both.
Like their mannerisms and stuff too. Like maybe yourself what am I trying to say? The your self-identity kind of gets scrambled around people, like, you know, certain times, like who you are. Like you don't feel you, but they're like, it's like they're like pushing in and changing your process, and then you probably have to get away, isolate yourself enough just to reset. Because I've noticed, like, I could be around certain people and kind of pick up their laugh or whatever, their way of speaking and stuff like that, and almost like their way of thinking, and then I have to like get away to go back to normal. Again, like I said, it's something we all have, like some sort of like a link between us all. There's like documentation of like way early on about all these powers that the humans and humanoids and whatever would have that we've forgotten how to use over the years. And that's what's broken with this type of unity thing. There's somebody in Australia that that knows of me and I know of them. It's a neuropath, you know, the body and all that. And she talks a lot about emotional type stuff and things that connect us. Whenever we used to email back and forth. What about out-of-body experiences? You ever had one of those before? Lying in your dreams? Seeing something that had happened? Arcana Loth has logged into Star Trek. I have no idea what I'm doing in this game.
MC Wolfcat 1 says, yet especially when they realize what I am, they will play on my emotions. I can pick up fake emotions too, but it doesn't last very long, about a minute, and when I realize that I'm being lied to I just stop, and that can be very abrupt and throws them off.
Ooh.
They can't lie to me for too long. Sometimes I can tell right away. MC Wolfcat 1 says, out-of-body experiences are very few.
So you can, in essence, read people then. That could be a good thing, and sometimes a bad thing at the same time. Ooh, item sold. Oh, it's just those bolians again.
MC Wolfcat 1 says, yes.
Well, I hope I've been truthful to you, because I don't lie. Not even to people like that come in and they'll ask me something and I'll tell them straight out, and they'll go look at me and get mad at me. I'm like, well, you told me to tell you, you know.
Congratulations, Admiral.
Congratulations, Admiral. Is this section already captured? Oh, it's waiting for a reset. Okay. Wondering what that was about there. Boinky, 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 boinky. I was already.
Back to your stations. The
I was
bots have
already
returned.
here. I was already here. You couldn't we have to leave? I was already here. Oh, did I get anything for that? Not that it matters if I did or not. 24, not bad. What? Did I not see it happen? Notifications. Up, I got him. Okay, yeah, no, okay, cool. Cool, man, cool. Make believe I'm everywhere, hidden in the light. So I don't particularly like. There's like actual lying, you know, to people or whatever. Then there's those that like the soft ones that try not to like upset someone. Like say if someone says, "Do I look good in this?" or whatever, and you're like, "Yeah," you know, versus, "No, you need to like do whatever, do this," you know, not to hurt feelings and stuff. And, but it's just plain straight up or something. Someone asked me anything.
MC Wolfcat
Boom.
1 says, my biggest problem in life is disappointment. I can almost immediately tell what someone's intentions are in the long run, and I get extremely disappointed when I turn out to be right.
Yeah, I could understand that. Whenever you see someone set out to do something or whatever, and it doesn't come out the way you expect. I can tell you, I'm disappointed in a lot of stuff out in the world these days. It's so much to the point that I sometimes just, you know, there was always talk of like a solar flare, you know, kind of like in that movie Finch that had just, is this thing coming or what's going on here? Where?
MC Wolfcat 1 says, I expect people to try be better than their nature, but nature wins.
Yes, every time.
100% of the time.
Yes, it does. People fall back on that, just the way that they are natively, no matter what. I mean, you can have it where, say a scenario where there's someone starving or whatever. You put two people down who are starving, and you have like one thing for food, and you're gonna like 100% of the time, like you're saying, they're gonna fight over it, probably either kill each other over it, and not offer to share it between each other. Just because that's the power of like hunger and the power of what we truly are, the savageness of us, of who we really are deep down. If we can separate that, like the mind from the body, we'd probably be different than, you know. Which is why I'm gonna say, like, I have a super wish that humanity, you know, it's at its end, that it just die. You know, and I know that's like kind of like demented in a way to think that, but I think we've run our course. We've practically destroyed the planet, you know, and we've destroyed the other inhabitants of this planet. And it's just time for us to end. Which is well, it's kind of weird, like when the coronavirus and stuff hit, I actually had a dream before that of a bunch of people like just in a huge area in like hospital beds and stuff with masks on and stuff, and I was like, wow, this is weird. And then all of a sudden you're seeing it, you know. I'm thinking, did I just see something that was gonna happen? And then whenever they said something about like a solar flare coming from the sun, like what was it, a week and a half ago, I was thinking this could be it. This could be something that finally does something to change the course and to shift things in a certain direction, and it didn't happen. So I was like, well, you know, that's why like I imagine in my head, I don't know, I see it all the time. Whenever I'm like one of my dreams, it's not like a nightmare or anything. It's just a reoccurring dream that I do have all the time, and it's the world burning. And I don't know why. I don't want to start a fire. I'm not a pyromaniac. I just an end. And I don't know if that's just demented or whatever. I just see like what humanity's done to themselves, to the world, and it's like if it were up to me, I would deem all of us just it's over, you know. We've reached that climax where it's just done. I mean, I can like look at people every day and just see how they can be to one another, and their first thing that they do is like judge a certain way or whatever, or just that's just the way they are, and it's like an anger boils to see it, you know, and that shouldn't be a thing. We've become so disconnected from one another in such a way that we're beyond redemption in a way, in my opinion. So anytime someone's always talking about the end of the world, I'm like, yes, hurry up and get here, you know, I'm tired of waiting. And that may be bad, but it's just how I feel. It's like you know, they always say everyone's either got good or got bad. We all got bad in us, every damn one of us. We're all just flip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. So I'm starting a new thing again. I need to stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna stop. Wait a minute. Let me look at something. Look at the traits section. What in the world? Why are the personal ground traits for this It's doing it again. It's getting rid of the traits again. Gosh. Personal ground. My goodness. I swear, I checked through like all of my traits and ground stuff or whatever, like once a month at least, to see if everybody still
MC
has
Wolfcat
theirs.
1 says, I sometimes have telling dreams like that. Deja vu is a thing. Fire could mean something. I once had a dream of intense blood rain inside a room. I was angry at the time. I also had dreams of my dad dying and blood is everywhere. Did some research and it turns out that means my mind is ready to let go of the dependence I had for him, ready to leave the nest so to speak. It was weird to say least and very scary.
A lot of dreams can be very scary. It's weird how our subconscious mind like does things, you know. It's like in that show The X-Files, Mulder would always say like he often believed that dreams are answers to questions we haven't yet figured out how to ask. Like we've got the answers to everything we ever need, but we just can't access them with the right question. Kit readiness. It's more of a rifle. It's a rifle training. Stubborn. I've had that on this one before. We'll do that. Assault. Aggressive. Kit performance again? What the heck? I thought I already had that. Buff heals, strengthen shields. Armor penetration. Physical damage resistance. Critical severity. Sure-footed. Even the space traits have been disappearing. Why in the world is that? It's so crazy. Threat, okay, that. Critical chance every time. Even I don't really use any of these. Maximum health. Flight speed's good. Warp core potential for real. Glad I checked that. Let's see. Back to this. Got 3. Might as well go for 3. Yeah. I often think of like that movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still, where you know the alien comes down and tells humanity that their time is over, and they like take up the animal life and all that, just go with them and stuff.
MC Wolfcat1 says, if you Google dreaming of fire, the first thing that comes up is anger and rage. So you may be angry about something. Only way to get rid of a dream like that is to figure out what it is that makes you so deeply angry and resolve it.
I'd have to think about that. I think I know the answer. But I'm not gonna say it here.
MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
I think I will say it here. It's called life. That's what it is. Life makes me angry. The way life is. The way life everywhere is. In whole, I should say. Like, I just look at the world and like, this is how this is. It doesn't have to be this way, but it is. Why? Why do we have it this way? And you try to use your brain to do something and you get a nosebleed from it. It's just... Concentrate too hard and it hurts your head. Go read a book, they said. That rhymes. So just laugh it off, you know. It must be because of the evil that's inside me. Once had a psychic tell me I had evil inside me. Or self-proclaimed psychic. Said I was always being followed around by someone with glasses that wasn't being able to be seen by anybody normal or whatever. And one night, she's like over here visiting with my parents and stuff at our house. And, I'm trying to sleep in bed, and she comes in my room and drags me out of bed and says, "Arm wrestle me now to fight for your soul." And I'm like, "Why? Why you want me to arm wrestle?" So she said, "Just do it. It's not too late." And I'm like, "Okay." So I tried my worstest, hardest that I had, and she says, "It's too late for you. It's already taken control. It's already inside of you." And I said, "Okay. I don't know what it is." And she at the time meant like something like dark and evil or whatever like that. I don't know. So I've just accepted it, and he's okay with it too. Isn't that right, Bob? You damn right. The dark passenger, like Dexter would call it. Of course, I've always been like kind of interested in otherworldly type situations and psychic abilities and whatnot. You know, just regular type stuff that we probably all do have. Just accessing it, you know, like you mentioned in earlier about the empathy thing. And drawing in like negativity from people and positive from people, and going into a room and actually feeling that room, like how it will respond.
MC Wolfcat1 says, psychics are fakes. That what she did there was abuse. She was trying to put you in emotional, mental, and spiritual distress.
I must say though, whenever
MC Wolfcat1 says, I was a victim of that myself.
Oh. Did you go see a psychic or someone that claimed to be one to get a reading?
MC Wolfcat1 says, no. It was a so-called friend.
Oh. What? Oh, some Voth set this back. What? How? I hate when the Voth do that. A friend? Was your friend psychically type person or something, or was it just like preying on you to, you know, like an abusive situation?
MC Wolfcat1 says, no, she was just preying on me.
I hate it when people take advantage. That's why I've never been in a relationship ever. I'm gonna say it, never. Never have I ever went out on a date. Never have I ever kissed a girl. It's because I'm male, and I am my pronoun or whatever's male. Never kissed a girl. Never went out. Never anything. Because I see the world, and yeah. So I've chosen a path of being alone, if that makes sense. That's why I have video games. But my mom, like, while she was pregnant with me, went to go see a soothsayer guy who's like a soothsayer, is what they call, like someone who's psychic or whatever, or a type of psychic. It's like a blind man that lived in the south area region of where we were at, like way down there.
MC Wolfcat1 says, she figured out how sensitive I was and used it against me under the guise of friendship, saying she wants to help me. Yeah, help me into oblivion.
Yeah. That's why I don't have real friends, you know. I've always thought that I've had friends. At certain points in my life, I thought I had friends, but turned out there weren't. Just use and abuse type situation. Come over to your house and say, "Oh, hey, can I come over? We can do this, we can do that," and then they come over and they're like
MC
do something
Wolfcat1
else or
says,
whatever.
that why I don't trust people.
That's right. I don't trust them I definitely don't trust people like hardly anymore, because working in retail, you see like how people can be there, and I just don't I can't understand to this day like how things are. But my mom, back when before I was born, she was pregnant with me, like a week. She had just found out that she was pregnant. Went to see a soothsayer, and because her friend wanted her to go just with her or whatever to see one. This is like the south area of where in the United States we live at. It's big into that whole voodoo-y type stuff or whatever. And this guy, he's like really elderly or something. And he told my mom exactly like what kind of building she worked in, that she didn't love her husband, that she was going to have 2 children, and other little details and stuff that nobody would even know. And this is about like in the 70s, you know, before the internet, before all that information could be out there. And I don't know if that was like a thing or like some sort of gimmick, but a lot of the stuff he said to her, she believed. And so I don't know. That's my only dealing with the psychic, really. Like an actual someone who claims to be of the real psychic, not someone that's drags me out of bed and forces me to arm wrestle. But I'd have to say her adrenaline must have been going that night though, because her eyes were naturally like a light blue color, but that night they were black, and not like the whites of her eyes. It was just the inner cornea or the inner lens area was that. That means that she had adrenaline flowing, you know, and the black of her eye was showing more so than the rest of it. I mean, she didn't go demonic or whatever in full black, but another Rex fight every time. It interrupts everything. Bum 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 bum. You hear all them like stories. You go to a psychic if you're pregnant, evil will get into the baby. Bring it on, man. Or don't let the baby get around. Or when you're pregnant, don't get around a dead body. It'll mark the child. Well, here I am. Consider me marked. Bum 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 ba-da-dum. Under the legs, through the tail, to grandmother's house we go. Ooh, there's somebody down. Dr. Bashir. That's you! You're right there in front of me. Dude! I hadn't even...
All 3 silos are under Allied control. Excellent work.
I was not even paying attention. I'm so sorry. Look, there you are. Wow.
The Von Fortress has engaged transporters. Troops inbound.
Wow.
MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
I was not even paying attention. Okay. Neat. That's
MC
cool.
Wolfcat1 says, we can team up if you want.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, like, I shift around my characters so much, I don't know that teaming would be good, like, for now. I mean, are you in the process of capturing anything on here? That's a cool... What is that on your head on that character? It must be alien. I've never seen that outfit in this game.
MC Wolfcat1 says, no.
Ah! So are you going after dilithium here, or you just showed up here because I was doing this? I think I need to capture one more.
MC Wolfcat1 says, Iconian headpiece.
An Iconian headpiece. This is a Taylor unlock.
MC Wolfcat1 says, showed up cause you doing this hee hee.
I gotcha. Trying to bomb the stream. That's cool. I like it. I like that idea. This is a nice weapon. Sweet. Let's see, 1 minute 39 seconds, 8 seconds. Well, yeah, that's the thing, that the teaming up. After this character, I'll jump over to another. You know, cycle through a lot. Ooh, you got the Abraham Lincoln axe. Poor Abraham Lincoln. He got shot in the back of the head. I don't think I have that for this character. We got a Bashir, Elsa Flores. Elsa? Yasa. Nosa. Elsa. Elsa.
Congratulations, Admiral.
Congratulations, Admiral. I don't know who says that for this, the discoveries.
MC Wolfcat 1 says, you can team me every time you get onto a character. Smiley face.
Oh. So, well, I sometimes cycle through characters like every 10 minutes, though. We can team now. I mean, like you said, but... Boink. See, it made one of your characters disappear. Why does it do that?
MC Wolfcat 1 says, that's fine lol.
And then if we, like when I swap
MC
characters,
Wolfcat 1 says, yup.
we'll uncouple there, and then you'll be down another character. But you can probably use, what is it, is it list pet team something? Phil
Back
as
to your
Phil.
stations. The bots have returned.
It's that command, that Phil pet team list thing. Ah, they already got that. I'm not going to get that. I don't want their stuffies. They can have those. Okay. What's a good one? That's it. Well, they're going after that one. Okay, over here then. Yeah, we got. I want to go over. Do you want to go over here? That's the thing. I don't even start shooting. He started shooting first. I can't control my character. I swear. But getting off the subject of something and onto another, I since you know that whole accidental text-to-speech, multiple voices thing, like something like the Borg, I thought that'd be a cool idea, right? So last night, before I actually fell asleep, I looked at the coding, the script programming for the text-to-speech that I use for this, and I think I can tweak some stuff in there to make it say multiple things at once. I think I have to look back over it because I'm not familiar with Python scripting / coding, but I can probably learn enough of it to make that happen. Tweak the text-to-speech that's already there. But I think that would be funny. Like when someone follows a Borg type following thing, because that seems fitting, and I like that idea. I don't know why it did that though that night. There's some new episodes of Doctor Who I need to catch up on. To see how well the show's gonna get worse. For crying out loud. Ooh. Nice. That was nice. Where am I at on that? That's got that. Cool. Okay. Thank you for helping with the capture. Made it a lot quicker. Go over here to the portal now. Yay! It's a train. Progress. Command Center. Talk to Commander Arnold. Commander Arnold! Arnold! Where's Arnold? Hey, Arnold! Ooh, we've got 40 there. Okay, so exchange. This is how you get some Zen. Gotta do it like every day. Let's see. 40 would give me 80. Gotta get them in the back burner. I point at the screen when I'm playing, and I don't know why, because no one can see me point at it. It's just by habit. Let's see. Complete. Collect rewards. Collect rewards.
MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
I'm cray cray. Cray cray in the brain, yo. There. That. Science. So which Star Trek do you like the most? Is it TNG, TOS, Voyager, DS9, Enterprise? Some of the newer ones, that sort of stuff. What got you into Star Trek? And why is my seat still falling apart?
MC Wolfcat1 says, DS9.
DS9. I need to rewatch some DS9. I watched it when it originally aired, and then like when it would play on another channel years later. But I've kind of like forgotten a lot of it until like
MC
playing
Wolfcat1
this.
says, the new movies.
Ah. Ever watch any of the old stuff? TOS. William Shatner. And his overactingness. William Shatner. Wilhelm. $5.25.15. Why do I keep doing that? I need to do the Federation one. I need to get that one built up to 10. I need to do that Jim Hadar. That way, it'll open up another slot right here, I think. Reach level 10 in 3 campaigns as a Gamma recruit. That way, it turns it into it opens that up for every character. So I need to do that for my Jim Hadar that I keep neglecting. It's only 2 there. Nope. Nope. Nothing there. Dang. Okay. Here. No. There. No. Everywhere you are. No there. No there. No. Nothing's giving away stuff. Oh. Is that one? No. Okay. Crap. Okay. Alright. Alright. Let's advance this through a little bit. Maybe we'll get something out of it. I'm gonna plan it out. Scytheron has logged off. That's Victoria. Let's see. I only hosted last night instead of raided because I don't want to over-raid my welcome. I don't know if that's a thing or whatever. Logged on. Log on. Somebody was telling me about the fly-in thing. Arcanoloth has logged off. The fly-in thing up there at the top. But I thought I found where that was in the notifications. So this fly-in thing.
MC Wolfcat1 says, I started with Star Trek series. Yes, I know there were some scenes he may have overacted, but I don't think he overacted much. He didn't know how to act the way a captain would act, so he played himself mostly. So he himself is a dramatic character.
That's right. Well, that's so true in like real life. Shatner is like, you know, really, really dramatic. He some sort of like Shakespearean stuff or whatever, I think. School of Acting, like Shatner. Just so iconic. I know, like, you know, a lot of the people that worked with him on set and stuff back then says he was like, you know, how he was and stuff, and wasn't really well off, like, you know, a team type scenario on set. But and then the thing about Will Wheaton and all
MC
that. But
Wolfcat1 says, he's awesome.
yes, he is very awesome. I mean, heck, you know, he's done a lot, and he's still at it too, at like 90, almost 91 years of age, getting there soon. He was born in March. So that's like, what month are we in? November. Well, yeah, that's like 3 to 4 months away. Just Shatner, and they have a national Talk Like William Shatner Day too. That one of the some comedians have come up with. So no matter what, whenever you're talking to them, they have to do a Shatner impersonation. And it's on William Shatner's birthday. I think that's hilarious. I mean, I look at this game, and I'm like, that is so a Shatner move, and the Shatner maneuver. Because, you know, he did a lot of, like, whenever they had the fight scenes and stuff in TOS, he would come up with, like, how he was going to do stuff there, you know, like, I'll come up and I'll kick him here, you know, and I'll do a double axe handle on him here with my hands or whatever, you know.
MC Wolfcat1 says, most Shatner impersonations are lame lol.
But everyone knows who it is, though. That's what's crazy. People
Arcanoloth says, I laughed at Terry Farrell talking about how young she was when she started DS9, and having to share scenes with Avery Brooks. She asked him to tone it down a bit because there was no way she could match his energy.
was this before or after he was high on set? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hello, Arcanoloth. How are you?
Arcanoloth says, everyone said what a great actor and director he was though.
And now he's like a chilled back type musician-y type guy. I don't know. It's really weird. It's amazing.
MC Wolfcat1 says, hey at Arcanoloth.
Hey. Hey. You make me think of a song whenever you say hey. It's so cool. It's so awesome. Hey. I can't remember what that's from though. It just repeats in my head. I've still got 2 episodes of Animaniacs to watch. I've been kind of like not watching it all at once. I like my Animaniacs. Okay, I'm swapping characters, so this is
MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
I'm trying to get the new lyrics down for the intro since they changed it from the 90s version in my head. I constantly like sing it to myself at work. I sing it to myself a lot whenever I'm at work because I get bored there. And I know I can't sing at all, but yeah. But like, yeah. I bring a certain energy to when I go to work. I mean, the people that I've worked with over the years, it's like I unlock their inner child in a way. Like the inner fun. Because I can see like a lot of people be like too strict and serious when they go to work, and I just be me, and then all of a sudden people unlock and they get wacky like me in a way, and very jokative or something. Like I rub off on them or whatever. I don't know. Which could be a bad thing, I guess. I like to take humor. Oh, is that oh, yeah, we're gonna go over there first. Put my guys there though, so I can be like. Well, if we go back and get it started at least. Ah, dang. One heck of a headbutt you got there, sir. They need to make it where you can play as a Voth. Wait, did that not go? Yeah, okay, it did. Oh, there you are again. We're not teamed anymore, but we can still play together. Eh. I like playing Dyson. It's just so calming. You can hide in the bushes. Meet perfect strangers here, these Voth. I mean, the Voth have to be named. You know, they have to have some sort of name. I mean, 2 of them at least per area or something like that. You got like, what is it? General Eknar and stuff. They're like they're like, you know, they have a thing, a name. Why can't the other little Voth guys have a name? Alan, no! Alan! Steve! That actually comes from a joke. I need to find the video that comes from. It's like a British National Geographic type thing where they have voiceovers of animals.
Arcanoloth says, clearly the Voth are at the top of their game to send in the Donkosaurs.
There's got to be a lot of them too, because we're always like killing them off. What do they have, like a cloning ship up there?
Arcanoloth says, okay Bob, we need our very best for this mission. Activate the Donkosaurs.
They've got a power to moth that you've never seen before. No one could ever take them down. Oh, that's already been done. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. New Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Oh, you've got one of those like rainbowy guns. What is that? That's Lucari, right? I think. I'm trying to get better about remembering where everything comes from. Go, go, Power Rangers. Well, since we had teamed up and you lost one of your players, try that that slash field
MC Wolfcat1
pet
says,
team list.
temporal pistols.
Temporal. Oh, temporal. Yeah, I think it's that command. The field pet teams list, or is it's either field team pet list? It's something like that. That way you can bring back the other character that disappeared when we teamed up. Yay! Oh boy! Happy day! It's time for Animaniacs.
MC Wolfcat1 says, no worries about it.
But I do worry. I worry a lot. Very much. Very much. It's time for Animaniacs. And we're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax. You'll laugh till you collapse. We're Animaniacs. Come join the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister Dot. Just for fun, we run around the Warner movie lot. They locked us in the tower whenever
MC
we get caught.
Wolfcat1 says, where did you go?
I missed you so. Head north. Where'd you go? I missed you so. Seems like I just died. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring my people with me. I forgot all about that. That's funny. And this guy that's going to be capturing this area here is like, oh, hey, there's somebody down that just was right there. I'm not going to help them at all. That's very nice of him. It's all good. It's all fun. Fun and games until someone puts an eye out. Steve is stuck. Steve, come over here. I got to force Steve to show up. Ooh. Sounds like a limb just hit the house. Something went tumbly, rolly, itchy, scratchy. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Oh, just follow Steve. Oh, there's Steve. Oh, there you are. Oh, you got behind me. Don't scare an old man like that. You don't scare Jim Haddad like that. Jim Haddad runs from fear. There's the twins. And kaboom. Wow. Explosion. Lava. This must be what a volcano feels like. Where are we gonna go now? I don't know either. Or either, depending on where you're from. Either, neither, neither, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Isn't it amazing how language is different everywhere?
Enemy targets uncensored. Personal shield losing power.
MC Wolfcat 1. I bet you know your native language of South African, right? Versus English. So, one day are you gonna like speak that, you know, in your stream? Maybe confuse all us English ears peoples. Unless you don't speak it, I don't know. But I know that there is an actual language there. I may be ignorant, but I'm not that ignorant. Or am I? I mean, the only reference I can
MC
get...
Wolfcat1 says, I have already a long while ago, hee hee.
Oh, you did? Ah, okay. So I know that, who we call Charlize Theron, which is, like, I think Charlize Theron, maybe? Since she's from Africa, I think South Africa too. She spoke in South African, and wow. It's amazing to me to hear other languages. So do you find it more difficult to speak and type in English versus South African? Or African, I should say. So I don't know. Where do you, like, how many different dialects and stuff are over there? Where you're at? Ooh, let's play with the physics.
MC Wolfcat1 says, nope.
Oh. You're just naturally talented in multi-languages.
MC Wolfcat1 says, a few.
Oh. Guess it depends on where you're at there. I mean, are they pretty much like...
MC Wolfcat1 says, English is easier.
Wow. Usually English is hard. Even for us people that learned it. There's so many rules involved, it's crazy. Okay, now we can go to get this taken care of here. Well, let me get you an 8-second energy speed boost here. There we go. Now we're good for 8 seconds. And it's over. That is not long enough on these things. Heading to the teleporter, transporter, whatever. But is it essentially like the same language, just a different, like, sound of it, you know? Like from area to area, it gets a little different changes or whatnot?
Shadowy_Sticks has hosted you with 1 viewers. Shadowy_Sticks has hosted you with 1 viewers.
1 viewers. I love it. 1 viewers, not 1 viewer, 1 viewers, plural. Thank you, text-to-speech, for telling me that. Twice, no doubt, twice. 16. That's not enough to really do anything. You should be collecting some of this dilithium. Let's look around. Let's see. Okay, that map. So this map is the one to stay at. Certain areas are getting captured slowly. Because if you do like the Voth battles on here, you know, the Rex battles, you can rack up to about like 3,000 dilithium like each fight. And even sometimes 5 to 10, depending if the fleets or anything are doing bonuses and stuff. You go through my list and checking it twice type stuff here. The boring work of this here.
Congratulations, Honored First.
Thank you, Odo. You're such an awesome guy. Renee. It's still sad that he's passed. At least he got to do more for us, I guess, you know, for the fans and stuff, to like allow him to be used in the game, his voice to be used for this, you know. A lot of the Star Trek actors haven't. That's kind of cool that he like allowed himself to be in the game. Or unless they must have paid him a lot, I don't know. I mean, who do we have, like, really from, let's see, DS9. Got Quark, Rom, Nog, Bashir, Odo. We don't have, Avery, though. Of course, I guess since it follows the order of, the show, he's technically not physically alive anymore in the show, in the Trek universe. It's more of like a persona, if I can remember correctly. He's like in a wormhole, I think, right? Like with the wormhole aliens. Let's see. 41. That'll do that. Right there. Right there. Tell you, one of my favorite movies that came out of, I think it's from around South Africa where you're at, was the District 9 movie.
MC Wolfcat1 says, we have plenty of different languages. Afrikaans and a bunch of other African languages. Afrikaans has different dialects based on the areas. As for me, I spoke English before I spoke Afrikaans, and before English I spoke Sawana, but I lost that language because I don't use it. I do know some of the basics still, like hello and so on.
Okay, that's basically like over here, you know. We know the average person knows a few ways to say hello in different languages. Like closest to us is the country of Mexico, and they speak Spanish, or Mexican Spanish there. Not the Spanish don't like the fact that they don't speak Spanish, but just the hellos there. Plus, then we also have Canada, and they speak English and they speak French. So sometimes you get a little mixture of that here, even where I'm at. I'm in south of the United States, Arkansas to be more specific. And below the state I'm in is Louisiana, and that's where you have a bunch of French Canadian type, French. They call them coonasses, where they speak different languages and all that. And I've never been there myself, New Orleans or whatever that area. It's always supposedly popular, but you won't catch me there, that's for sure. Too much wild stuff goes on in that place. Heck, it's barely a place anyway. They got the levees always like trying to sink it over there. I'm surprised it's still awake or alive. Or that's anyway. That's getting off into just La La Land. So you learned how to speak English first. I guess that's why English is probably easier for you then. Was it like a normal thing, like when you're a kid, they just try to teach you one language or the other, or maybe both at a certain time, or did your parents have something to do with what you learned first? I think it's supposed to be storming here. That's probably what I keep hearing. As long as my internet don't go out, I'm good. Since you mentioned you took a few little trips and stuff over there, have you ever kind of went up north to like Egypt or anything? Since you're in the same continent, visited the like pyramids and all that stuff. It's probably a long travel though if you ever did, because it's huge. Since you're in the south though, that means you got a southern accent. It's like us southerners here in the United States can over enunciate things the wrong way and
MC
make the northern
Wolfcat
ones
1
get
says, yet, we had a German friend who never learned how to speak Afrikaans, and I was talking Tswana at the time and he told me he doesn't understand it and I must speak English, and then I just started speaking it.
Wow, out of nowhere. Okay, so you had a German friend that knew English more so than the other languages that you had. So in order to communicate, you learned English. To learn English, how did you learn it though? Did you do the typical learn the bad words first and then go from there? Because that's what Boris says. Life of Boris. I need to watch one of his videos. He had another one out the other day, I think. He's Boris. One of the few words that I can speak in German is Volkswagen, or Volkswagen. Since I have a Volkswagen. Yeah, I got a little German lives at home with me. He's outside right now. Got 4 wheels, a steering wheel, drinks gas, or fuel, or petrol, whichever. I don't know what you would call it over there. It's got like several names, you know. I think petrol probably what you would call it. I'm not too sure though. I used to joke around whenever I'd go to work and I'd have my Volkswagen. I'd say, "There's a German out in the parking lot." "Quick, everyone! Look, there's a German out there. See him?" They'd be like, "Where?" So, "You don't see the German out there? It's got 4 wheels." I love the creativity of people that play the game. That's a pretty cool. Is that like a Section 31 suit?
MC Wolfcat 1 says, ha 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 no, as a child I was exposed to the language on a regular basis and learned through osmosis, basically lol. The way they drill it into you at school isn't very effective and it hurts my brain.
Oh, would they teach it in school more so than like the language that's there, or kind of more on the English side then? I mean, whenever you were like growing up before going to school, which language would your parents speak to you? Would it be like a mixture between English and Afrikaans? Or Tswana? Let me change over to my other character, Ushanka, which is a Russian hat. Which reminds me, I need to see if Boris has them on his merch still. He's Boris. Or just find one somewhere, probably. Welcome back, Yushunka. Hello. Welcome back, Yushunka. You're welcome back, Yushunka. Aww. It shifted back because the instance when I left it, someone filled it, so I'm on a different map now. Or another instance. It's time for Animaniacs. We're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax. You'll laugh till you collapse. We're Animaniacs. Come join the Warner Brothers and their Warner sister Dot. Just for fun we run around the Warner movie lot. They locked us in the tower whenever we get caught. But we break loose and then vamoose and now you know the plot. We're Animaniacs. Got his wit and yakko yaks. Wacko packs away the snacks. Our careers have made comebacks. We're Animaniacs. Meet Pinky and the Brain who want to rule the universe. Our new cast did well with focus groups. Something I can't remember. Gender balance, pronoun neutral, and ethically diverse. The trolls would say we are passe, but we did meta first. We're Animaniacs. You should see our new contracts. We're zany to the max. We got baloney in our slacks. We're Animani, totally insane. Animaniacs, those are the facts. I sometimes hate it takes a whole year for a new season of something to come out, or series, depending on where you are. Because I know if you're in England,
MC
London.
Wolfcat1 says, school was Afrikaans, parents spoke Afrikaans. Farm workers spoke Swana. In school, the traditional books and repetitive remembering of words can't remember the word, are just heavy and exhaustive.
Oh. Uh-oh. So it's a mixture of like several languages all in one area too that you have to learn. That's wild. One of the things I always remember about speaking like languages other than American English is rolling of the R's. It's mostly used everywhere. And I love how the R's are rolled. It's so awesome. Ow. Ooh. Physics, yo. Physics.
MC Wolfcat1 says, it did help that I already knew the language, but the books made me confused.
Yeah, I did bad in school English stuff. Learning it by being around people is like one of the easiest things, I think. You know, learning languages that way. Like you can be in school trying to learn a language and then, you know, try your best to understand it, but until you talk to somebody that is there, from there, and how they speak it, that's when you kind of like, can figure it out. My sister, whenever she was going to school, she, you know, took the, like, we take foreign language class, like at least one of them or whatever, and just so happens the school that we both went to, she, we learned like the Spanish language. I can't recite it back to you like any kind of thing because I'd never used it, so if you don't use it you lose it, you know. But she retained a lot more of it and then didn't really speak it that much and spoke it a certain way until she moved to Miami, Florida, where they speak like a lot of Spanish there, due to a lot of the immigrants that came there a long time ago being from like Cuba and stuff like that. So, and then like the islands that are down that way, the Bahamas and whatnot, and, in Mexico, I suppose. That's mostly in Texas and Mexico, but yeah, and she like told me like it's a completely different experience learning it from people who speak it versus learning it in like a school setting.
Personal shield losing power.
I can definitely attest to like the English language being better and more proper, like just by watching, you know, YouTube videos and stuff. Like, even though yes, I'm full American, born here in United States of hell and land of the idiots and home of the crazy people or whatever it is. So I am a full-fledged U.S. citizen and proud, and I'm not proud to admit it. But
MC Wolfcat1 says, school is confusing.
yes, and even like being here and speaking it with everyone else is completely different from what you learn in school. The textbooks have it too complicated, you know. And there's like even around where I'm at, there's different dialects of English. I mean, people just speak it differently. You've got where I am, the redneck Southerners, that the way they say words and stuff, just it doesn't seem to be something normal, you know. Oh, did I run away from that battle? Dang, I am such an idiot. I got drawn up in this thing. Sad face. Oh, I had them all the way over there, didn't I? But
MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
what in the heck? I totally wasn't even paying attention to this whole. I get caught up in talking. That's my problem. I get told at work that from customers that I talk too much, which I guess what I do on here too. I talk too much, but I try to at least make them laugh while I'm talking. One of them once told me that I knew so many facts about stuff that didn't matter. But yeah, learning is it's completely different, you know. The different like I was talking about, like what the different dialects in the area and stuff, the rednecks and stuff that are around where I'm at. They instead of saying like, do you want to, they'll say yont to as one word, and you're like, huh? And you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And like over there, the over. So they've shortened the word and gotten lazy about it. And I reckon y'all, you know, under yonder, fixing to do something instead of about to do something. It's like just a little like play on words type stuff that they all use. Like the little boy thing from whenever I'm on here talking about my boy, I'm actually like not really impersonating or mimicking. It's just
MC Wolfcat1 says,
yeah,
slang.
Yes. It's real deep in the southern roots. It's bad at sometimes, or one word meaning several different things that can be very confusing. Someone will come in and they'll ask me for a picture. And I say, a picture for what? No, not a picture, a picture. I'm like, what do you mean exactly? You pour water from it. I'm like, oh, a picture. I gotcha, picture. I'll say it like enunciate it. And they'll say, where you from? You must not be from around here. And I'm thinking, I was raised around here. I just can't help that I speak better English than you do. No. But and they weren't talking about a picture frame that holds a picture or a person that throws a ball that's called a pitcher. But you know, it's too much nuance for that. Once had somebody that was from like New York area, whatever, up in New York City, which is way north of where I'm at, way north, like almost to the next country, you know, New York. The Unork, Unork. Yes, I said it backwards. Unork. And I went to one of the to work with these people at one of the stores in the retail business I work in, which is Dollar General. And they said, I can't really detect your accent. Where are you from? I said, I'm from around here. So if you don't talk like the rest of them here, I said, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to talk around here. I mean, I do have like a southernness to the accent. I tried to get rid of it as best as possible. Not that I'm ashamed of it, just it's easier to enunciate and speak clearly for people. It's like whenever someone goes to pay with money, the money over here, you've got what you call a $20 bill or $20 bill. You know, 20. Or they'll just say $20. Like that, and you're like, how much? $20. Like, huh? I'll go, oh, you mean $20. Oh, I gotta like do this here. This. I'm sorry, I keep going back and forth. There we are. We did it. Yay. And but I enunciate because dealing with money whenever you're working for a business, you have to like if it's someone else's money.
Says, I see you too met Boomhauer.
That's right. Dang old Boomhauer, man. Yeah, man, I tell you what, a dang old snipe hunt last night, I'm sticking him back and whack, man. He go, woo, talking about that big mistake y'all eat right there in that cooler. That's one of the fallbacks I always do for Boomhauer. It's that episode where they're in the woods camping, and the game warden comes over and he's talking about how they don't need to be shooting the wildlife around there, and Boomhauer just flat out admits that they shot something and it's in a cooler. You know, he goes, yeah, man, I tell you what, that dang old snake and bagged him whack, man. He go, woo-loo, talking about that big mistake, yo, it's right there in that cooler. And he'd point to the cooler. Game warden goes, well, if you do see anything, please let us know, okay? And then Boomhauer like, dang old, tell them the truth, and they don't even listen to you, dang old. I love it. King of the Hill. And all Boomhauer was doing was saying, like, yeah, man, I tell you what, that dang old snipe hunting last night with those sticks and that bag, and we went whack, man, and he'd say, woo-loo, you know, talking about that big mistake, y'all. It's right there in that cooler, you know. Nobody ever got it. Damn. I don't think I have the free dance. Oh my goodness. Dance balance. I got that one. It took me a while to figure out where that came from. Maybe I do have that one. What? Pharynginer dance. Dance Pharynginer. Well, I don't have dance Pharynginer. Fan dance. I don't think I have that for this character either. You have to remember the characters that I play around on here. There's a Klingon smiling for you. They don't really leave the Dyson sphere much. So whenever they do, they get all anxious and stuff. At least that's how I feel for them. Ah, yes. 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 Mind control device completion. Yes. Let's see, 51. That? I don't know. We're gonna go for that. Raises the roof, yo. Raise the roof. emotes. There's the Rick Ashley emote. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna turn around and hurt you. Good old Rick roll. Oh yeah, it's thundering outside. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Looks like we both know what's been going on. I always have a hard trouble, like even at work, whenever I'm just like humming the lyrics to myself or singing them out loud to myself, because I act as though I have an audience around me at all times when I'm at work. Because people say, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "The audience."
Arcanoloth says, I had Undine kills, made short work of that.
Undine kills? So one of your endeavors was Undine? But I always have a hard time remembering how that one always starts. We've known each other for so long. I know exactly what's been going on. It's really weird for me, like whenever I listen to Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley or whatever. Astley. Whenever he says what's been going on, it's more like a, instead of the word on, I guess, I don't know. What is a British word? How do they say it in British? Let's see. What's going on? On. So when he goes on, it just doesn't sound like he's British. Language is a fascinating thing. Imagine if there was no gap in it. We knew everything. The Tower of Babel. Ooh, ooh. Raising the roof, yo. Come on, party people. Woo, woo. Throw your hands in the air. Come on, party people. Wave them like you don't care. Woo, woo. Ooh, she's got, let's see, 64. We're gonna go to the exchange on that one. Yeah. Sell 64000, 128 if that ever happens. It's a slow thing to get Zen that way. Ooh, we got an area for not even being there. You know the rules, and so do I. Okay, what we have here? Duty officers, completion already 2. I don't want to execute anybody for. We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna turn around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Looks like we both know what's been going on. Know the game and we're gonna play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna turn around and hurt you. Never gonna let you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie. I've ruined the lyrics there. I remember the one time that I actually sang that really loud at work. Everybody came over there going, "What's going on over here? That sounded pretty good." I'm like, "What?" It's like I channeled Rick Astley. I think my voice was stronger though, and I had more oxygen. Now I run out of oxygen when I'm talking, so I yawn a lot. All right, I'm gonna swap over to my next character, which is my own self. To my own self be true. It's Captain Scorpion, the Starship Toilet Prize. Its continuing mission to flush out enemies all over the United States. To boldly stuff things down our pants when we're on someone else's planet. Oh, I forgot I need to do that. Oh man, let's see. It was Shield, I think. Yeah. See if we can bounce that up to a different one. Assign that. 40% chance, very rare, ultra rare. What do you think it's gonna be? Here we go. Yeah, I got ultra. Nice. N-E-I-C-E, Mickey Mouse. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna give you up. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to see it. Looks like we both know what's been going on. There's that. Personal. Can I call you Dadu?
We have got to get this show on the road.
Thank you, Tom Hanks. But I need to look into programming with Python. Years and years ago, someone introduced me to the Python stuff, and I never really got into like a project to learn it. Because that's how I learn programming languages or something like that. I have to have a project to get me started, to make me do research into how to do things, you know, because I've never gone to college, never learned how to do all that kind of stuff. But so it's very like clumsy coding that I always would do, but it would work. All right, I need to do some endeavors. MC Wildcat, do you have endeavors to do that are like this universal? What is this? Task Force Operation Menu, Trans-Dimensional Tactics. Isn't that the one with the not cool? Or no, Tholians maybe? I think that the Tholians on the ground over there in Nukara. Yep, right there. Transdimensional Tactics.
MC Wolfcat 1 says, yes, I need the Universal. Universal is at Nikara.
Gotcha, Mr. Mrs. Mr. Mrs. Sister. Never gonna turn around. I'm trying to click on your name in my like little chat box that's right here. Whenever you stream, do you do two monitors or just one?
MC Wolfcat 1 says, LOL.
Lemfeo, Mr. Lemfeo. Yeah, I'm liable to
MC
hit
Wolfcat 1 says, 2 monitors, one for the game and the other for everything else.
So you're awesome. So yeah, you do the 2 monitor thing where you can see the chat on a better screen, and I have it like overlaid over the game so I could see it, but it's not broadcast like onto the game. Even though I have the chat box where it like pops up at the bottom corner on the right, that's not what I see when it shows. I see like an actual thing. A thing. I see a thing right there. Right there, right there, right there. What is that? Is that the whole screen and nothing but the screen? So help me, screen. It's going to show what I see. Window capture. We're going to window capture, Dr. Jones. Add new source. Add source. Because I know a lot of people, whenever they capture with OBS or something, they like do the whole window, and I don't do that. I do just the actual, you know. So I guess it would be the whole screen, huh? Is that what that's doing? Screen capture, huh? Screen capture, what? I don't know what that's capturing. It doesn't, I don't understand. Properties. Hakuna Matata. Means no worries. Well, never mind. I'll get off of that. Is this picking up, right? Yeah. I didn't screw something up, did I? Did I? I don't know. That just bothers me. That's not a... Let me get rid of that one. Bling. And then that. Display capture. That's what it is.
MC Wolfcat1 says, no stream still fine.
Oh, cool. This is what I see. Whoop, not that, but this here. Some little chat boxes over here. The stream chat. So anything like gets above a certain area, it's kind of like blends in with the whole game. That's why I've got to like look back and forth at something else when I'm reading. I don't trust my graphics card to actually, you know, work two monitors at once. I don't know why I don't trust it. Okay, anyway, let's see. Transdimensional tactics. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Vanilla. Ah, you found me. You found my ship. I love the Rising Corvette. That's pretty cool. I like the color scheme you got there. 23 Jaguar. A Jaguar. What the heck? Was that flary type reputation thing you can do? Ah. Every time I want to look up something, the game jumps me away from it. Okay, let's go. Ooh, we can already go. Okay. I love the suits automatically just jump to us. That's awesome. That's awesome, mister.
MC Wolfcat1 says, fireworks LOL, got it when I got Lifetime.
Ah, okay. Ah, that whole subscription life thing. I'm still hesitant about that. I don't know. So you would recommend that, I'm guessing, because it worked out. Hello, Mr. Tholian. How are you, Mr. Tholian? Goodbye, Mr. Tholian Bond. James Tholian Bond. We've got one of them sophisticated suits. I'm stuck with this thing here. Dun 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 dun. Bananas and pajamas, bananas and pajamas. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I guess it would be okay to play a mock time theme song or whatever on here, because the game has it built in, right? It's Star Trek after all. What the heck? That dude's like up there hammering down on stuff. Like he's DJing or whatever. Dun 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 dun. Let me look up something really fast, like on a breeze. Where's it at?
MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
I got that in the back burner. I don't know what version of that is. Cause I've heard the long version, but that's not the long one. But the game has that built into one of these maps. So, what the heck? Cardassian Tesper egg? What do you do with that? Never even heard of that. They do have Cardassian stuff in this game. But there's a mission where it plays that music in the background, and it has not been flagged the time that I had it.
MC Wolfcat1 says, you eat it.
You eat it? You eat the egg? Boy, oh, the egg. You be eating the egg. Oh, yes. Eat the egg. Make the egg go down the tummy. Yes. Yes, make the egg go down to the tummy. Yeah. Okay, I need to win GPL playing Dabo. Can play Dabo, Deep Space Nine, Quark's Barge, Arizona, located in They didn't say Ryza, but that's where I want to go. Anytime I get to go to Ryza, I get happy. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. So I'm heading to Ryza.
MC Wolfcat1 says, Risa.
Risa. Let's see.
Scorpwana says, rise. Scorpwana says, Rizu.
Razu. Rahaha. Come on, there we are. Okay. Risua. Here we go. And here we go. Beam to Summer Resort. Well, I don't even know if anybody goes to the classic beach anymore. I've been there a few times. There's really nothing there. Bunch of sandy beaches. Moses? Moses, is that you? That person is here like all the time, waiting for someone. Someone that will never show up, never come to see them, but yet they wait every day for it to happen. Suddenly it happened. Alright. Here we go. One big Dabo. Play Dabo.
Spin the wheel and win.
Spin the wheel and win. Yeah. Okay. 17 seconds. What do I want to use? I don't really want to use any energy credits, but I can afford to use a few thousand. Let's do that. How about that? Place bet on Ha! Okay, done. Oh, you're here. Wow, you got here quick. Do you have to do Dabu too?
Arcanoloth says, can play Dabo with GPL or EC.
Yep. I should probably play it with the GPL because I don't use that stuff for anything.
Buy another drink. Maybe it'll bring you good luck.
MC Wolfcat1 says, no.
I mean, the only thing is like worth getting is the party like de-amplifying thing or something, right? Ooh, Endeavor unlock perk time. Shield hardness space. Going for space first. Let's out a cheer. Cheer. That sounds familiar. For
Arcanoloth says, can buy Latinum trophies for bridge.
I don't really care much for the bridge, though. That's the problem. I mean, there's no reason for going to the bridge of ships anymore. I mean, if you want a specific type of bridge, then what a destroy ending ships battle zone. Dyson battle zone. Want to go to the Dyson battle zone? Let's go to the Dyson battle zone. I'm gonna beam up the ship now. But like, you know, since most ships have just the standard bridge now, I mean, what's the point anymore? You know? It's so sad. It's so sad. Okay. I'm going to Spear Space Allied Zone. Dyson Sphere to get there. So I can go fight the Undine. I had a dream last night that they had another season of Supernatural. The show. Sam and Dean again. I don't know why, I just did.
Arcanoloth says, some bridges don't have the trophy slots anyway.
Now that's what really sucks right there. Okay, let's see. Space Battle Contact. Go to Space Undine Battle Zone. I mean, my bridge on this ship that I'm at, of course, is the TOS bridge. Because I like to keep it that way.
Arcanoloth says, it's old abandoned content.
Yeah, there's no real incentive to use GPL. I mean, if it can be converted over to energy credits, that'd be awesome. That would give it incentive to do something with. How many do I have anyway? I don't really have that many. It's only 289,000.
Jedi_library says, oh, give it 10 YRS. Jared and Jensen will come back.
They'll be on their walkers. Carry on, my wayward son. I mean, they're already like talking about a potential like another series based on it. But you know, what was it? Jensen was talking about having John and Mary, a show about them, and he would commentate or whatever, you know, about what they're going through and stuff, like before the boys would still have the car or whatever, like their adventure. And then Jared found out via Twitch or Twitter or whatever like that, and we're like, what are you talking about? Why didn't you talk about this with me first, you know, situation. I mean, heck, who is it? Dang, I can't think of names right now. Dude, that is so fast. That ship of yours is so fast. I love that. I'm stuck in like a thing here. Ooh, that's thunder.
Jedi_library says, Crowley is to Supernatural as Q is to TNG. He always made it better.
He sure did. That's why I kind of enjoy, like on Doom Patrol. You know, this Mark Shepard, who played Crowley, is on there. And it's kind of like he's a supernatural type character, so it makes it like so awesome to see him on that show. Because I think of Crowley every time I see him. I think one of the funniest things, though, was that Supernatural where they had I don't know if it was supernatural, but it was a fake thing they did that was supposed to look real, where they had a fan that was supposed to and got it nice. A fan was supposed to video like themselves like spending time with Jared and them on the set, and Mark Shepard had like a cot sitting down on like some sort of stage or whatever, and that's like it's apparently where he lived. You know, he didn't go home anymore; he just lived there. He's a pretty cool actor. His father was like really popular too back in the day. Fireworks. I'm so jealous you got fireworks and I don't have fireworks. But you paid for your fireworks, didn't you? Didn't ya? I just can't make myself get a subscription to Lifetime for some reason. There's a cool shot. 23. What is 23? What's the significance of number 23? Is it just something they gave you, or did you choose that number?
MC Wolfcat1 says, my birthday.
Ah, 23rd of something. Ooh. Your ship goes a little bit faster, look at that. Or, well, it went a whole lot faster. Yeah. What's your top speed in that one? Like impulse. But they're already like talking about like Arrow probably coming back too and stuff. So my top speed without going full impulse is 24.1.
MC Wolfcat1 says, 75.6.
Okay. Well, I've got 156, 58. I'm just a little bit faster. I was just curious. Because I don't remember how fast I had when I had my Ryza cruiser or Corvette. Because it was my first T6 ship that officially I got because I couldn't afford to get one. But I'm building like this ship for speed because let's see.
MC Wolfcat1 says, but I didn't press the button LOL.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, dude, press the button. Or do that. Press the button if that's appropriate. I don't know. I'm sorry if it's not. So if you're going that fast without pressing the button, I'm only going 24. That's got to be hella fast then. Yeah, you're gone off my screen. You're gone. Because my impulse engine
MC
is...
Wolfcat1 says, 208.29.
That ain't bad. That is not bad. Mine's adapted Mako combat impulse engines with speed 2 and then a second speed. And then I have like the Endeavors that jump it up there a little bit. One quarter impulse. Half impulse. 3/4 impulse. Full impulse. And then full impulse.
Arcanoloth says, Amico gives you the 6 mods for sector space records.
Okay, cool. Where's there a cooldown for transwarping? I used to have one of those, but I cannot figure out how I got rid of it. Was it a duty officer that had that? A duty officer? An officer that's always on duty? Dutying around, the officer is? The officer?
Arcanoloth says, I like the Omega engine for a tour build. The Slipstream CDR helps.
Omega engine? Are you talking about the warp? I have this gamma synergistic overcharged warp core for my for now. I had a different one at one time.
Mission transwarps are free with 0 CD. No need to waste build space on reducing those. MC Wolfcat1 says, I have prevailing innervated impulse engines.
prevailed. This thing just completely takes up the whole screen. Dun, 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 dun.
MC Wolfcat1 says, and then overcharged warp core from fleet. Arcanoloth says, Gamma core gives you the highest base warp speed in sector space.
So that's probably why I have it. I was always wondering. I gave this one to Enterprise too. I built it from the Gamma reputation for that reason. The deflector.
Arcanoloth says, add Polaric mod console for slipstream buffs.
Polaric mod console? Where do you get that at? I mean, I could look it up. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I could look that up, but I'm not. I'm sorry. 700-day veteran. Wow. Wow, you have been playing for a long time. I don't have that. How long have I been playing with this character? Or it's gonna be off because I've played like for years, but I know this. Played combat log. 61
Arcanoloth
days.
says, ICO War Delta flight.
Iconian
MC
War.
Wolfcat1 says, not that long LOL.
So I've only been playing, let's see, with this character, 61 days, 6 hours, 21 minutes, 57 seconds. Altogether, like this character has been logged into. Wow, 700 days. I've seen people with like 800. I know some people like they'll hover around, you know, like maybe like go AFK but be there forever, and I'm thinking, how the heck y'all do that? I love the actual tracking of like other ships. I wish we can control the camera like that. It would make for some pretty cool shots. Like, have you ever like wanted to do a Star Trek thing with it? Dun, 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 dun. Achoo. Iconian War
MC
Delta
Wolfcat1
Flight.
says, been playing from August of 2019.
You have?
Arcanoloth says, demo record does the visuals.
Huh. Oh wait, you since you got that
Arcanoloth
what is
says,
it called?
people turn off UI and set up demo record to super sample.
Demo record does the visuals. Oh, since you got the subscription, it gave you 700 day, didn't it? Okay. Dun, 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 dun. A beam thingy. Ooh. Is that hazard emitters? Back in Hazard County, we had emitters. Assemble a senior staff and go to Red Alert. We've got a bigger problem than I thought. Red Alert? Red Alert? If you wanted a Red Alert, you can have a Red Alert. I don't care. Red Alert. Are there any promotional stuff out there right now? Uniforms. One day I hope to have all of that. One character I do want to have is like the Enterprise D. Go for that eventually. Then she died down low. Iconian War Delta Flight. So that would be what? With Tom Paris, right? This thing here. I didn't do so well with that, I don't think.
Captain Tom Paris has requested your ship for a joint mission with his task force. I won't lie to you. We're not making much headway against
I
the
won't lie
Academy so
to you.
far. You and your crew have proven to be capable of fighting them. Delta Flight is one of the only other teams to do so. Together, perhaps you can start to turn the tide. Report to the Cal Brighton system.
everything.
Captain Paris and his team are waiting for you there.
Is that what you're talking about? This Polaric modulator that I kind of already have? I didn't know that I did or didn't. I didn't know if I did or didn't. We got it dirty. Wow. got far
MC
away
Wolfcat1 says, I need to destroy the Voth.
there. Destroy the
Arcanoloth
force.
says, I threw together a build for the Tour Uni, completed in 10 minutes.
Like the whole thing? Let's go this way then. We're gonna go this way.
Arcanoloth says, helps to have a full spec MW ship.
Full spec MW ship. Milwaukee. Grandpa ship. He's an old little ship. Likes to go fast. We can do this shivering ship.
Arcanoloth says, for tour you want to be in slipstream the entire time.
Well, I can get into slipstream and then like it'll go to like a minute or whatever until it goes back up again. But before it was like faster-ish. It's just like this thing here. Let me read. Flight speed, slipstream, turn rate. Yeah, I had that before. Like this thing here was in my ship. Why did I get rid of it? I need to have a loadout for slipstreaming. That would be an. Why in the world is unsafe changes? Did the traits go away again? Okay, I'm going to see about creating a. What is that one? Power trans flight turn rate. Keep that. Okay. Damage, bobamage, banana, fana, full famage. V5.
Arcanoloth says, Miracle Worker ships have the best uptime, and with the CDR from Omega Engine and Gamma Core, you have about 10 SECS of downtime to turn it off in hairpin turns and back on.
Turn it off and then back on. 10 seconds. Omega Engine and Gamma Core. But you can turn it off during and turn it back
Arcanoloth
on
says,
quickly?
have any Miracle Worker spec ships?
Come on now, I got better ships than that. God damn it. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to some sort of a shipyard thing first. Let's see. Who's got a thingy here? Let's see. All right. Soul system. We'll go there. Go into the soul system. Ahead warp factor flush. Head warp factor 2. 'Cause flush. We're animani, totally insane. Because I have a Miracle Worker. A Milwaukee ship. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Crash, crash, crash. There we go. Every time he shows up, he's like, that captain keeps hitting my station every time he comes there. You need to do something about that sucker.
Cadets arriving from Starfleet Academy must report to Admiral Quinn's office upon arrival.
And by the miracle of today, we are here. Manage ships. We got The USS Lavatory. It's my Gargan Miracle Worker battle cruiser thing from the, I think that's from the event, right? That thing there. No, it can't be from the event. It's the one I've had.
Arcanoloth says, Gagarin will do.
Gagarin. Gagarin. Let's see. There's my bad name. They didn't like the pooper scooper for that.
MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
Yeah, it was named the USS Pooper Scooper, and they didn't like it, so they bad named me. It's the same time they bad named my Crapper Prize. What do I have in dry dock? It's not gonna let me look, is it? I don't want to see it. I just want to. Oh, here.
MC Wolfcat1 says, ha ha ha.
USS Outhouse, the old one, latrine, toilet plunger. It's just toilet jokes. USS Crawfish. Yeah. So you're saying the lavatory would probably be a good one there. Alright, let's redo some stuff with it then. Ready, Starship.
Lucenario says, at Wolfcat1, are you enjoying your giveaway ship? Arcanoloth says, need a POO knife.
The knife? Oh, it automatically gave it. See, change the warp core over to the gamma. Change the warp core to gamma. Okay, thank you.
MC
Finally.
Wolfcat1 says, I have lighting 2.0 off permanently for now.
Oh, is it still giving you issues of flickering?
MC Wolfcat1 says, at Lucenario not yet.
The red zone is for the immediate loading and unloading of passengers only.
MC Wolfcat1 says, gonna wait till my stream.
A giveaway ship? Did you get a giveaway ship because of the subscription? It's pretty cool. Alright, let's try this right here, out there and there, right here. We got that. Is there a way to see the speed? Kaboom! Unsafe changes.
MC Wolfcat1 says, not sub. It was a giveaway on Twitter.
Oh, somebody gave you one on Twitter. That's awesome. Kaboom. So would you say this would be a good setup for the the streaming, this thingy? Let's see. Let me get out here and...
Arcanoloth says, I prefer the Slipstream CDR from the Omega engine for tour, but the Extra 6 mod on the Amico engine will be slightly faster in speed record attempts.
I'm not going for speed records here. I just want to get some money. I just don't know the proper way to go anymore. Soul system. Take it easy. This brings me back. It's even got the visuals and everything left. Still there. Depart system. Ahead warp factor flush.
MC Wolfcat1 says, getting me some breakfast. Arcanoloth says, for tour you want to be in Slipstream. Anytime you are out of Slipstream you are wasting time.
Yeah. Any particular spot I should start? Well, I don't know about like staying in and out of it though. That's the thing. Maximum warp factor 62 point. That's pretty good.
Arcanoloth says, timer begins when you accept mission, so you need to know your route before.
Right. Well, it's kind of hard to know the route if you know. I can kind of remember where some of them are. I think there's one like Nimbus, and then up here, 2 of them, then down this away, and then
Arcanoloth says,
all around.
do not pick up the mission until you have decided on a route.
Ew. Balls. How about we wing it? How's that?
Arcanoloth says, people have done extensive analysis on this.
They've been anal analysts. Little anal guy. Gotta catch 'em all. Poke that mine. Gotta catch 'em all.
Arcanoloth says, you and I are not going to improve on that analysis on the fly.
Yeah. Well, I've essentially like come close to getting the alpha and the beta, or beta and alpha.
Arcanoloth says, where did I stash those links?
Damn it, mister. Because I can't remember exactly which one. I know Drazona's one of them. There's like one below somewhere. There's one in this corner, whatever. They all kind of zigzag through the middle area here. But I don't know about like stopping and starting Slipstream on a dime.
Arcanoloth says, people have cleared the mission with 12 minutes left on the clock.
Holy cow. I've seen some people, like I mentioned before, I was at the Gamma Quadrant thing, and they just flew by like a shooting star. And I was going like my top warp or transwarp speed, and they were just passing me up like 3 times faster. I don't know how they did it.
Arcanoloth says, https://informationanarchy.org/sto/tour-the-galaxy/.
Slash some tires while you're slashing prices. Here's the build I use for Tour the Galaxy, including everything I can find to increase sector speed. My current build is 7 minutes, 10 seconds, complete to 4. Are they doing it in like a regular ship like I did? Or like I have? Look at that.
Arcanoloth says, the website that did the most in-depth analysis on routes is lost to time. You can pull it up in the Wayback Machine, but this site archived the route I use.
Oh wow, that is completely different than what I try. Defira. Oh, they do the whole warp into Defira thing.
Arcanoloth says, the analysis concluded that the risk of being caught in a loading screen with various transwarp tactics was too great, so they prefer to minimize transwarps, and I agree. Arcanoloth says, so with that assumption, we need to fly optimal beta quad then TW to alpha. Arcanoloth says, you can take your pick of AQTWS, it doesn't make much difference.
So what, like start at Nimbus and work your way down? All the way to the bottom?
Arcanoloth says,
left.
Anything that fucks with optimal BQ ends up losing more than you gain in the end.
But in the end, it doesn't really matter. So hard and got so far. Huh. They're doing it in their legendary one too. And their warp core is not even like maxed, it looks like on the screen. Right there. They can max it out for potential. Okay. What about we just wing this thing here? Let's see. Mega Force, Sector, Adapted Mako. Okay. So start at Nimbus. Work down. Past Ryza.
Arcanoloth says, mark upgrades do not affect any stats that matter.
Okay. And then the sharp turn left. Drazona. Then right there. Then up. Over. Through the vendor, it looks like.
Arcanoloth says, we are not taking this gear into a fight. Arcanoloth says, we are doing sector speed.
Sector speed. Sector.
Arcanoloth says,
big fun.
Core and Polaric console do not get anything we care about.
Right. So then around, and then down, and then the Flibby Flobbian system or something up to the Malaysia.
Arcanoloth says, The Impulse engine gets 6.2 on gold, so that's the only one you care about.
Oh. So that affects the sector space. Is 6 speed too. And then there, Khitomer down to Kronos, and then at the very end of the map there. And then I'm guessing you transwarp
Arcanoloth
over to
says,
Defira?
so note the straightaways, that's where we want to slipstream.
Yeah. So transwarp via the menu to Defira to make it quicker.
Arcanoloth says, you won't turn worth a damn with slipstream on, so turn it off in turns, do your turn, back on.
Does it come on that fast? I can't remember. I used to do this stuff a lot, but start on Nimbus, and then Defira, dink 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 dink. It doesn't go to the other quadrants. I thought it went to the Delta quadrant too. Didn't she dive down low? It's been a while since I've done this.
Arcanoloth says, with Omega engine, on a MW hull, I have 15 SECCD.
Okay.
Arcanoloth says, tour never went outside Alpha/Beta.
Why do I remember it out there though? That's what I'm wondering. Because I can remember it like filling up something. Oh, nice. This is nice. I miss this ship. This is not the one you got for free. Like after doing the event or anything. This is something I had before. Before the ship I have now. But I didn't have this like speed upgrades or anything like that. Unknown Nebula. The unknown nebula continues. Which means...
Arcanoloth says, but yet, play with this and see if you need the CDR from Omega engine.
Visual. It still has the visuals. The Aegis. Bozeman Hyper. Yeah, that's some old stuff. And I had that there too. Look at that. Okay. We're going to turn it around. Now if I'm at Nimbus, is it going to counter it? Am I have to like wiggle? Wiggle, weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. They don't fall down. I'm kind of nervous. Available. Where's he at? It's like in the list somewhere. Tour the galaxy with this guy here.
MC Wolfcat 1 says, armed with break fast. Arcanoloth says, I'd start just outside Nimbus so you don't lose time wiggling.
So like, maybe back it up. Like right here at the border. And shoot past Nimbus. Sounds good, yes? I like it that right. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. With a TH. A yes. Alright, here goes some chaos. Tour the galaxy. Hail this sucker. Accept that mission. Exit.
Arcanoloth says, worst case is when it doesn't ding a system and you have to stop to wiggle.
Uh-oh. You little bastard. Little bastard. No, keep going. How fast is it going?
Arcanoloth says, I keep the map up and to the side as I'm flying.
Damn it. I flew too fast. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, it's a daisy. Whoopsie daisy. I shot past it. I know, right? Turn that damn thing off. There we go. That's better. Okay, going backwards. We just fucked up anyway. So let's have fun. Where is it at? Where the hell? Oh, it's down there. Okay.
Arcanoloth says, auto hail needs to be off, it's going to go nuts every single time we swipe a border. MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL.
Let's see. Go here.
Arcanoloth says, yet if you overshoot you have to turn off slipstream, you cannot turn with it on.
I beg to differ, sir. Okay. Turn that back on. Okay. Is it slipstream and need to be? Yes. Okay. Shot through the heart, and you're too late, honey. You give love a band-aid. Turn, you bastard. There we go. Okay. 25 seconds. That's what I remember. Something fast like that. I forget the order now. What about the drift to one of these? I know one of these is like screwed up. I don't know if it's Chronos, where you try to go to it and it's like it tries to keep you away from it, so you have to like force yourself to go there.
Arcanoloth says, north from Archanis.
Come on, auto navigate. Come on, auto navigate. There you go, buddy. All right, turning it back on, and now we're gonna curve it right on through there.
Arcanoloth says, NW from Vironet.
Northwest. Can it turn that one? Maybe. Maybe. Nope. Okay. He didn't shoot down far.
Arcanoloth says,
Where's the star?
I can't afford to lose time to autonav bugs, so I fly manually until I'm clear of each system, then autonav.
That's what they need to teach in Starfleet, how to turn like that. La-di-da-di-da, it's that one and only D-O-double-G, Snoop Dogg. That's kind of what I remember is the 30-second or less cooldown time. That's how much faster that is. Whee! Whoops, and go. Oh. Boom, 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 boom. Do 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 do. Make sure. Here comes the curve. We can do it. 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 It's gonna be one of those weird ones, though, isn't it? It's gonna be like down here, up there, above us. Oh, it did it okay. It added that to kill. And I'm guessing down. I can't remember. Probably over there, huh? Ah, whatever. We're going the wrong way, but let's have fun with it and go the wrong way anyway. Okay, we didn't go the right way. Stop.
Arcanoloth says, hairpin turn.
Alley-oop. I
Arcanoloth
thought that
says,
was... Oh, it's
clean
up
up Tau de War region and that's beta.
here. And we'll go this way. Since I'm already heading that way. Bonnie. We're gonna head that way, Bonnie.
MC Wolfcat1 says, ha 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 lul.
Derb. Okay, it wasn't gonna make it. Is it up or down? Is it up or down? There, it's over here. Okay. Whoops-a-doodle. It's been a long time. Hope I'm clicking on the right one and not like one of these here. My biggest problem with turns, they just need to stop and turn and then go. It's just like in real traffic.
Arcanoloth says, need the end theme for tour.
Enterprise thing. Da, 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 da. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Beefaroni. Heading directly to it. Will I hit it? No, it won't. It's
Arcanoloth
down.
says, yet, you can stack slipstream turn buffs but the default is so low, anything times 0 is still 0. Arcanoloth says, just have to turn it off to turn.
Ah, we can turn. We can do it the hard way, because that's how I do things. Ding! Well, this is not bad for a rough. Okay, then here for Defira. Into the sun! Who knows? They might update the game's suns depending on the sun data that we've been receiving from that the telescope that's like next to
Arcanoloth
it.
says, TW to Alpha, clean up time.
Clean up time, everybody singing. What's up, Doc? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to like wiggle around to let this one like work. Turn around, every now and then I fall apart. Okay. And then it was like over here, right? Ah, don't turn that way. Turn the other way. Slow ass. There we are. Stop and turn. So much faster. So much faster. I don't know the route now. The route.
Arcanoloth says, Arawat and then go round yet.
You spin me right around, baby, right around. Get out of the way, auto thingy.
MC Wolfcat1 says, it's sad that you don't get Dill from Tour the Galaxy anymore.
Yeah, they've really cut back on that whole dilithium thing. It's crazy. I'm gonna glance at this thing now. Ding, 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 ding. That doesn't even look like what I'm doing. DS9.
Arcanoloth says, Arawat Algora DS9 Corwin Betast.
You take that back, mister. DS9 Corwin. Whoa, dude!
Arcanoloth says, Tour was never a time-efficient way to get Dill or EC, it's for people who enjoy doing it.
Ah, I thought maybe I can get right next to it. I'll parallel park my ass in there, boy. Okay. There we are. Mm-hmm. And then here, I'm guessing. Space. At least we know where
MC
the beta
Wolfcat
zone
1
is.
says, yeah, true.
You said it'd be good for me to do to get energy credits to build up to get Archer his ship. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing this madness. Oh, you can turn on a dime when you want to go yourself. Okay, then from there, it's a straight up shot and then back down again. Okay. Transwarp. I should have hit that earlier, but I didn't. Transwarpers. More than meets the eye.
Arcanoloth says, the benefit of tour is some people enjoy flying round sector space more than roleplay as a staff officer at Space Dock filing Admiralty reports all day.
Okay, how many reports do you want me to file? I'm not that kind of a role player, that's for sure. I'm not really much of role playing. It'd be fun. Doing voices is fun. The double sons of Zinkethi. There's something in the way. The sons of Zinkethi, mister.
Arcanoloth says, and for newer players that don't have the Admiralty cards, tour is more accessible.
It's gonna be one of
Don't
those
need a
things.
high-end build to get started.
Here we go. We're gonna turn hard here. Ferenginar, everybody. Ferenginer. They're cool. What's so weird? Oh, turn on the something thingy thingy. Yay! All right, and Tyne, and then
MC
go that way
Wolfcat
there.
1 says, Ferenginer.
Will we make it? The anticipation. I'm gonna scroll back. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. Gonna hit this hard like Captain Picard.
Arcanoloth says, the text-to-speech mangles that one.
And no, isn't it funny?
Arcanoloth says, Ferenginer? Heck, I hardly knew her.
Cool. How much did we get for that? Like a total of how much stuff? I don't know how much it calculates. Let's see.
Arcanoloth says, enjoy your 1 MEC.
Is that all it is? Just 1 million? Can I change ships here? Switch ship. It's there we go. Oh, yes. Boom. There we are. More like it right there.
Arcanoloth says, yeah, if you are broke, it's 1 MEC you didn't have before.
True. Make sure everything's right still. He's saying like I could probably do that for all the
Arcanoloth
characters.
says, not something I would optimize for, but it's an option for some people.
Well, you were mentioning earlier, like last week, 5+ days or less ago, that I could probably like do that for all my officers and get like millions every day.
Arcanoloth says, you can tour once a day on each character yet.
But it may not be like the best option. I mean, I have like right now like 269
MC
million.
Wolfcat1 says, I just sell stuff. Arcanoloth says, if you like doing tour, it's reliable.
Right. I can siphon off of other characters and put it all into the account bank what I need if I have to buy that. Still like 350 million.
Arcanoloth says, in terms of time efficiency, going hard on Admiralty for EC missions is better.
It's much better, mister. Much better. Eh. You know what would be funny? If I actually did like the whole video thing, like, you know, had the webcam.
Arcanoloth says, but you have to be ruthless about skipping missions that don't pay out large sums of EC because those kill your time.
Right. But I could put on my William Shatner's mask that I have in the closet and wear it during that. It'd be kind of funny. If I had a good one though, if I had a good Dawn Post remake of 1977-ish or whatever it is.
Arcanoloth
1975.
says, a tour build can do tour in 8 minutes, so if you are spending more than 8 minutes on each character, that's slow. MC Wolfcat1 says, LOL, that would be fun.
Yeah, it's not a detailed Shatner mask though. Shatner. Shatner? Yes, Shatner. Okay, I think we've done what we can of this character. I could spruce it up though for this. Let's see, plan, no, that.
Arcanoloth
no,
says,
yeah.
this goes back to that saying about game design, given the opportunity, players will optimize the fun of any game.
I know it could take a long time in this game to do a lot of stuff. Let's see. Ooh. Hitting it hard like Captain Picard. And then there. Begin. Plan, no. Plan, no. Plan, no. But 400 lithium. Oh my gosh. No, I'm just gonna go shoot straight for it. Stuff, you know, like here. I've been relying on the Aegis stuff, you know, making it, and I had planned if I could get one of the officers for each of my characters. I just love that. That's so cool looking. Anyway, what? Exactly.
Arcanoloth says, Ferengi is best for currencies, don't be afraid of the skip button and shuttles.
Scuttlebutt. But, I got holes in my inventory now. Ooh, this is a good way to get some credits too. I like it. Look at that. Oh yeah. Zort. But the Aegis, whatever the hell it's called, stuff. It seems to be kind of like one of the best things. Maxing it out, it's like 35 to 40 million each time. If I get it like leveled all the way up, which is why I don't mind doing it. Like Phoenix boxing it all the way up.
Arcanoloth says, I do my endeavors for the perks, then the reward boxes are bonus.
Bonus. Bonus. No, you be nice. I'm not going to be nice to no one. Bonus. See, I don't swear on here much, but I do mock a lot of like words and make them sound funny, I hope. Alright, I'm gonna apply the upgrades to this. Boom! Boom! Oh, cool. That ain't bad at all. See, that dude's getting ready for for training. Yeah. And 14 refined.
MC Wolfcat1 says, he he he.
Say hey. Tickle fight. It's just dilithium. Just remember, it's just dilithium. It's just dilithium. 5, not bad. 5 more than I had, that's for sure. Go back into that. I can dive into my... Oh, no, don't you discard that. It's only that. I don't have any accelerators, so... Okay. The percentage goes up. If I needed to, and if I was impatient, which I am, but I'm not going to do it, I would dig into this, my little stash that I could take out or put back in. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna
MC
go
Wolfcat1 says, I'm gonna go lie down for a bit. Feeling it now. Waking up so early is hard, lol.
Yes, I highly recommend it. Yeah, go lay down, lie down. Because since you got up so early, yeah, it's gonna like hit you hard later if it doesn't hit you now. That's one of the bad things about like not sleeping through the whole cycle at once. You know, it's rough. But yeah, go lay down or lie down. Or like I said to somebody, data. I just love that little old ship. Let's make the ship. And after Archer, I think I'm gonna call it a stream. May look back through some other characters I don't play on as much, like the Gamma thing or whatever.
MC Wolfcat1 says, lay down.
Lay down the boogie. Yeah.
MC Wolfcat1 says, hey.
Hey.
Arcanoloth says, I'm maintenance mode in STO. Diltizen is no longer an option in the short term, so I have no short-term goals to work towards. Builds are good enough. MC Wolfcat1 says, hey. MC Wolfcat1 says, hey hey.
Hey hey. Hey hey. I need to find that song that's in. That's reminding me of that. Maintenance mode, Dilithium Zen is no longer an option. Well, I like to
MC
have it.
Wolfcat1 says, P.
P. Tickle fight.
Arcanoloth says, not sure if there are any ships I want to add to my shipyard.
Man, you probably got like a huge one too, like just out there. That would be what would be cool if this game had it so like people could visit your actual shipyard and see it. You know, like all the ships in line or whatever. That'd be awesome. That right there is my yacht. I like to take it out every once in a while and go fishing in space.
Arcanoloth says, I don't have the leg packs, but I'm not grinding that out.
Leg packs? Oh, the legendary packs. Okay. What you mean like for the Zen? They need to make that a dilithium ship. For reals, yo. But then again, it
Arcanoloth says, we can invite to bridge, but nothing to do there.
You can always roll the ball back and forth.
MC Wolfcat1 says, gonna watch further on my phone and lurk around in the shadows and watch you intensely oozanali intensc.
What? Over? What does that say? I can't. Well, no. I recommend you like go take a nap or something. Like lay down and just you know nap time. If that doesn't disturb your sleep cycle, though. I appreciate you hanging around the madness. Oh, I keep clicking on stuff. Okay. Ooh, that got it up there pretty far. Pretty far indeed. I recommend to anyone, if you need to, lie down. I know I say lay because that's where I'm from and that's how we say it. I was talking about dialects earlier. See how stupid I am? Yes. If you've come here to watch somebody play for a good
Arcanoloth
time.
says, I load up Stow out of habit these days.
It's like an OCD thing, man. Obsessive compulsive stowing.
MC Wolfcat 1 says, I won't be able to fall asleep.
Oh.
Arcanoloth says, slept all day, nothing else to do and all the time in the world to do it in.
Sound like Willy Wonka. All the time in the world and all the little things. How does he put that? Let's see. Nothing to do and all the time to do. I can't remember how he says it. It's funny though. Gene Wilder's hilarious. Don't look so sad. Get Gladlock. Just randomly clicking just to push it along. Just checking the traffic. It's almost time for the last 2 episodes of Animaniacs. I am just a quack. That I'd realize. See, this is what I have for Archer right now. Set him up with the same type stuff. Got a Mako Impulse engine. Got the Gamma Synergistic overcharge under the deflector. I don't have any good shields yet, though. But once we might get that other ship in, the back burner, could add on to all this and make it all better. All better. I'm going to rename the ship, though, from Enterprise to, like, Enterprise.old or whatever.
Shodesticot has rated you with a party of 12.
Wow.
Shodesticot has rated you with a party of 12.
Shodesticot.
Arcanoloth says, Parapacium for shield?
Parapacium? Hello, everybody from Judith. Rating me. You shouldn't have rated me, dude. Oh, man. That's pretty awesome, though. How do you rate from Xbox?
Shodesticot says, yeah.
How you doing?
Shodesticot says, Jodest too high, 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 Jodest too high. Just underscore Dainies underscoreda says, Alla FBI here, we would like to see your web browser. Just underscore Dainies underscoreda says, Jodest too high, Jodest too high, Jodest too high. Shodesticot says, Lamu.
Lamu? That's just too high. Yes, that's just too high. Hello and thank you for the raid, but I'm getting toward the end of mine. It's about how it is, though, isn't it? How was your gameplay today? Night. Yes, you're an hour ahead of where I am.
Shodesticot says, oh damn.
Oh damn, dude. No problems, dude.
Shodesticot says, well raid trip Xander.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well.
Shodesticot says, try.
Try, Xander. Yeah, he is on there, isn't he? Yes. Yes, there's a thing or something. I'll see that. Okay. Arcanoloth, got your message.
Shodesticot says, stream was great. How was yours?
And it was fun. Did tour the galaxy a lot faster than I have in a while, thanks to Arcanoloth. He's in the chat right now. Had MC Wolfcat join me on some fun on the Dyson Sphere ground. bunch of stuff happened. Bunch of boring stuff happened. But not much excitement going on throughout. I'm building up my Zen
Judas
collection.
Decott says, very nice.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. Very nice. I'm trying to build up my Zen. How does Zen, do you have like the dilithium to Zen exchange? How is it over there? Is it better than it is on PC? Where do you at least have some offers?
Judas Decott says, yes.
Yes. The pinky and the brain.
Judas Decott says, confusing to me at least. MC Wolfcat 1 says, hey Raiders.
Raiders of the last
Glitchcat.
stream. Raiders of the last stream continues. Well, since you raided me, and I was just about to get off here, yes, we will
Judas
raid.
Decott says, at Wolfcat 1 just too high.
That's just too high, man. That's just too high. Yeah, I'm gonna do your as you suggested. I'm gonna raid Trizander or Trizander. Which way do you want to say? I don't know. So here we go. That way you can raid with me to him. You see how this works. We both raid together on his stream.
Judas Decott says, yes. MC Wolfcat 1 says, LOL.
And we get to see him have a heart attack live.
Just Dainies _ says, 2x raid.
Here we go.
Arcano Loth says, FBI raid open up.
Here we are. I'm getting it ready. Ready to raid. 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't have his open, so I won't hear a response from him, but here we go.
MC Wolfcat 1 says, Glitchcat Zanali COOL Wolf 2 goof.
Derp. Second stage is cut. Well, now in orbit stabilizes up. Running perfect, time to relax.
Oh, wow.